Hello, and welcome back to this latest episode of our Keys to the Surface campaign. It is the first episode of the new year, 2021, for us. Let's hope that means good things. I hope that for you the year has been great so far. Let's just hope that it's nothing like 2020, and well, the future will tell. But welcome back. I don't think we have any thing to go over besides what happened in last episode, except for the fact that obviously we've had a character switch and the character art hasn't been updated yet. So if you're thrown off by that, not to worry. We are too. We last time started. Let me see. Where did we start? God. We started, I believe, in oh my god. Do I remember? Do you guys remember? Somebody help me.
We started underwater.
Oh, yeah. Right. That far back. That's really far back. That's why I was confused. We started in the underwater dungeon as a mysterious voice, not at all fitting the current music, creeped from the darkness, and our Greystars met some form of underwater beholder that was guarding the ancient dungeon there, and after some discussion and after some other exploration of the dungeon, they all decided to get the fuck out of there and travel on towards Normandy, where they were going. After being thanked by the villagers for fixing their problem, they quickly set out, and Kaskin made his plans known to leave the party, since his memory loss that he got from his deal with the hag basically led to his motivation for adventuring and traveling with the party disappearing as well. And he decided to go and live out his days happily on a porch somewhere with a food cart or something. And after the party's arrival to Normandy, a town of gnomes led by a family of halflings, where technology is prized, what else, maybe even above the gods, the Greystars found themselves in the midst of a festival that is apparently quite common there. They were offered some kind of drug concoction. During that night, only one party member chose to imbibe Grawl, resulting to another memory loss for him. He apparently did things and lost that night. Kaskin disappeared into the masses, never to be seen again, maybe. Jasmine did some errands, and Mira spent the night quietly in her room, working. The next day, both Jasmine and Mira had a productive morning after their first morning coffee being cheerily interrupted by Charm, a purple tiefling bard who has, announced that she wanted to join them to tell their story, apparently, the amazing stories that they are yet to live through and the stories they have lived through before. After some coffee and some time to think, the party chose to accept her in their ranks, and we now are a team of 4 again, at least for the next bit, hopefully. Grawl woke up after remembering nothing from the night prior and promptly interrupted a clandestine meeting and lost his memory of that clandestine meeting again. Some form of divine intervention stopped him from losing that memory entirely, having him write it all down. And in Normandy, some threads seem to converge as there is some kind of shortage, some kind of thing being planned against some idiotic leader that there was talk of, some 2 clandestine meetings apparently about to happen on the same night, tomorrow night, which would be the night of the 7th. And the Greystars, having knowledge of it all, in the midst of it all, now in the tavern, discussing what to do with all this new information. And that's where we'll start out, in the Silver Dagger.
Cheerily interrupted was pretty good.
Well, your conversation previously, I believe, was about whether or not to go to any of these meetings that you now have knowledge of. You surmised that there were two different ones, one apparently against who you assume to be Yoner, the halfling leader of the town, and one you think some kind of cult. The person who deleted Grall's memory of the encounter was certainly capable of higher magic, and talked of communications. And then there was Yoner himself, who had asked or told you that told Charm that you were welcome to have a meeting with him regarding some problems in the mines.
Okay, so 1 second, I need to get the accent right again.
Hey guys, I gotta ask. You think the repeated memory wipes are gonna do some long-term damage after a while?
Probably.
I don't know, I've been smelling copper for like all morning.
But you don't remember. Grall, it's already... Oh no. And I'll look at the rest dramatically.
Well,
I'm just gonna stand back and ignore all of this.
I'm sorry, girl, but it's gone too far. We can't stop it now.
I don't trust you yet. I'm sorry, I know you don't have any affiliation with the person that you're replacing, but just the fact that you're filling the slot, like, I'm a little bit suspicious.
Well, you have a right to be, I guess.
Also, I'm not sure if I remember, but I'm pretty sure Mira likes to fuck with me too.
Man, your memory must be going bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Speaking of... Oh, you first.
our next move, is it talking to Yoner or trying to find one of these meetings?
Well, the former can be accomplished a bit easier, I'd say. Considering we have to wait 1.5 days for the other one. I would still say that I'm going to go pass by a herbalist, figure out the mix between foxglove and metal, whatever that might be.
Okay.
Before we get too committed to this, I did want to ask, are we sure we're the right people to deal with whatever these people are doing? I mean, we could just as easily, like, tell the guards or something.
Well, if what I've heard is true about you guys, it's that you can do pretty much whatever you want.
That's a bit metagamey.
We
No,
have
just
some
kidding,
street
just kidding,
cred.
just kidding.
I don't know. I definitely think we've been almost arrested a few times. We're probably pushing our luck a lot.
Well, extend the borders of your luck. It sounds like a good thing to do. But I would otherwise it could still be a job, and that could still mean income. Could still mean prestige, and therefore bring us further.
I mean, yeah, but all we have to go off of is an eavesdrop conversation. We don't even know who these people are.
True, but like as I read it, something about a J. Was the person misnamed Joseph or Jeremy?
Jeffrey. I mean,
Is
honestly,
Jeffrey
though,
like? And it's what I mean as well is that if they knew that the stables were going to be empty, they could be working here.
I mean, also, I'm going to be honest. I think that she might have been, like, getting his name wrong on purpose. He seemed kind of disheartened by getting called that.
I know, but we could use that still.
Oh, wait, actually, I wouldn't remember that, would I? I only have the notes.
Yep.
Forget that.
But we do know the size, and I think it was a smaller person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say at least here this Yona will grill out. Figure out what we might be able to do. And besides, we saved a bunch of nobles, now we can might perhaps save a city. It seems to be in the right stretch of things. Well, actually,
Yeah,
we didn't
maybe.
save any nobles like we saved ourselves, but regardless.
The nobles seem to think that we saved them. Let's
Good enough.
keep them there.
I'm furiously writing things down.
Charm,
Yeah.
don't write down that last sentence, please.
All right. I'll sort of put a line through it.
Yeah. That's another question, by the way. Just how much of what we do are you going to be writing down in there?
You know, whatever I think will make a good song.
I feel like there should be some boundaries there.
Well, just don't go drinking together, Grawl, and you should be fine.
Yeah, don't record all of our illegal shit that we do on the Redlands.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna do anything that would be untoward for you guys.
No, it's in the contract. She can't. Otherwise, we can sue her for all she's got. So
I don't remember that part of the contract.
it was here, right in the small lines. Nothing detrimental to the party. That's ingrained. It wasn't a small print. It was right there.
How does the court system actually work? Like, who do you ask to sue somebody?
You report a crime.
Depends on where you are.
That too.
Yeah, Jasmine's the only one that would know.
Jasmine's also the one who doesn't want to be in this conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see if one of the herbalists is open by now, because they seem to have a slow morning. And afterwards we go to the office.
Right. I believe I have to go drag roll around, so
Yeah, I think I remember something about that from yesterday. That's like
Good.
right before everything fades out.
How's that then?
see if the memory stuff is we can fix it faster
All right.
and slightly better. So we're gonna go look for a temple somewhere.
enough.
That and other things.
Alright. Temples also do identifications for money if you want to bring some of your stuff.
We have
I
that
mean-
leather armor, huh?
Mm.
Also, we don't have the staff anymore, the rod or whatever it was, because that went on to
No, I've got the.
Brindley.
Oh, what?
Charm
I
really
don't
wanted
remember.
that. That was
I
that was
don't
the
remember
entire
any of
thing
that.
she wanted.
Yeah,
that was
the whole contract.
I've never removed that from my inventory.
the entire
well,
contract.
I literally there was never anything about that in the contract. I did not consent to that in character. No.
That was the entire reason she wanted to be.
Yeah,
in
that
this
was
in
her
the first place.
negotiated reward.
Yep.
No, she wanted
Next
to be
to the
part of this.
money. Yeah, next to the money, that was her negotiated reward.
There was
Oh,
talk
well,
of
then
like
we can have a
reduced payments in exchange for the staff up front.
Yeah, that was in the same conversation.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Okay, it did
Otherwise I
happen.
wouldn't have.
Out of character,
Fine,
I'm pretty sure
okay.
that staff only exists for his new character.
No, because it's anyway. Regardless, I feel like I'm being forced into a corner here. First of all, I don't like it, but I will give it up.
Everyone else remembers it, Novelist.
That's
You're not being
okay, but
forced into a corner.
No, well, but I don't. I specifically wouldn't have done that because I was against that. So it's fine. But next time I'll make sure to like keep my cards on my side. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go find a herbalist.
All right. You return to the nearest herbalist shop that you found on your turnabout earlier today, and the sign still says closed.
I'm gonna knock.
All right. There's no response.
I'm gonna accost a gnome nearby, because there's probably gnomes working nearby.
Yeah, there's someone working across the street cleaning houses.
Okay. Gonna approach them, non-forcefully.
Right.
Excuse me, sir. Would you know when the herbalist opens?
I'm not sure they open at all today, ma'am.
And how about other herbalists? Because I've been past quite a few, and none of them seem to be open.
I don't know what's been going on, but they haven't been open the past few days.
Right. Would you be able to point me towards any living accommodation of any of the herbalists? Because I've got more like a specialist question to ask them.
No, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not supposed to just share people's living locations.
Any other way that I might come in contact with any?
Roll a persuasion check.
$17.
You might ask some of the guards. Maybe they could help you out, but I just clean houses, ma'am.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you for your time.
Have a good day.
You too. Good look for a god.
All right. You walk for a bit, and you do see two shapes of like armor in the distance. And as you approach, you notice that they look to be constructs.
I go to try to inspect whether or not they seem to have any sapience whatsoever. Do they have mouths constructed into them?
Kind of walk up to one, and it says, "Good afternoon, ma'am."
Good afternoon. I was wondering, I've been passing by quite a few herbalist shops today, and all are closed, and I would mostly like to inquire with any herbalist currently about a pressing question I have, and I was wondering if you could help.
Is it a security issue?
I'm going to say tentatively yes.
Elaborate.
What I know so far is that there's been a shortage in terms of metal.
Yes.
And and there was something I heard about a certain plant that made me think of something regarding metal, but I can't really be sure what. And I don't know what to make of it. And it might be nothing, it might be something. But I'd rather investigate to be sure.
If it is knowledge about plants or metal you seek, you could look in the Neverland Library.
That would be... What direction from here?
Walk 10 minutes straight ahead through these streets. Take your first right, then your first left, then your second right.
So, first right, then left, then first right, second left?
First right, first left, second right. After 10 minutes of straight ahead.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you very much. And
you're welcome.
Good shift watch thing. And I'm going to move, and I'm going to look for the library.
All right. You walk for 10 minutes straight ahead. Take the first right, first left, second right. And you do come towards a square of sorts. Not the large square on the map, but another smaller square. And there is a library. Once again, flanked by two of these seemingly constructs, but there are two living humanoid guards across the square as well. It's relatively calm here. You do see some older women and men, all gnomes, hurrying in and out of the library, some carrying scrolls, some carrying empty bags.
I'm just first gonna inquire with the living gods.
All right.
Are they male, female, either, and or?
There's a male dwarf and an elf that you can't really tell the gender of.
Excuse me, officers.
Yes, ma'am.
How
can we help?
I'm here in the city temporarily, but what are the rules about going to the library? Do you have to be a citizen, or is it free entry?
I assume you could inquire that with the library, ma'am.
Fair enough. Hope you would have known. Fair enough. Have a good day.
You too.
And I'll go to the library.
All right.
These gods
you
know
get the
nothing.
sense that this town doesn't really like outsiders.
Yeah, no kidding.
You enter into the library and there is a front desk where a younger female gnome is currently sitting and ordering papers. She looks up and says, good morning. What can I do for you? Or I suppose good afternoon by now.
Good afternoon. I was wondering if I would be allowed to look into some books on herbalism. I
Yes,
can't
of
find any
course.
herbalists in the city right now that are
Oh,
open.
no, you wouldn't. No, there's a shortage.
Oh, that's too bad. I heard that's been going around a bit.
Yeah, the inverted foxglove shortage. I'm surprised that wasn't a sign in the window. It's been going on for a few days.
I guess I haven't properly looked. Could you point me to the right stack?
Yes, and she kind of points you in a direction. It's pretty easy to follow. You find your way. It's a relatively humble library. It's not obviously not as grand, anywhere close to Sierra's library in Onaris, but there is like a section, not a whole shelf, on herbalism. It's split between magical herbalism and non-magical herbalism, and sensing your interest, he kind of pointed you to magical herbalism and alchemy, kind of a combination there. Yeah, these are all the publicly available books on that.
I'm just gonna look for information regarding specifically, the foxglove and its connection to metal.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
12.
Foxglove appears to be a genus, so you would have to look into a specific type to find any connection to metal. There's a lot of undertypes and families and...
Well, I'd go for the inverted foxglove then, because that's something I just heard.
All right, roll another investigation check. That does exist.
Wow, a 9.
9. You are
Counting
only
down.
able to find general information. It seems that it is an alchemical compound and it is used in enchantments, but information on it seems to be a little bit guarded off. What you can find is that it's a type of foxglove that is very rare, very hard to grow, and that is typically used in a specific kind of enchantments. It seems that the town of Gnormandy kind of has sort of a patent on its creation and use in those types of enchantments. What kind of enchantments those are, hard to find.
Right.
Something in construction and building.
Anything on its like places of usual growth? Like, is it something that's connected to a certain? It's not. Nah, you said general information. Fair enough.
Yeah.
In that
Very
case-
rare. Doesn't grow above ground, it says.
That's important to know. Yeah, then I'm gonna start making my way back.
Making your way downtown. All right, the rest. What are you doing in this hour or so that she's gone?
Dragging Groll to a temple.
While we walk, I would like to talk.
Probably by the scruff of his neck, because we need to go.
All right.
I will
How are
come
you going to
willingly.
find a temple?
He's saying something, guys.
Hmm?
Freddy was saying something.
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, while we walk, I would like to talk.
Okay, but you're not walking yet.
All right.
Nope, because we haven't found shit yet.
Yeah, how are you going to find a temple?
Probably.
There wasn't an obvious one on the way in.
Hmm?
There wasn't an obvious one anywhere, as far as you can tell.
Probably then also find a guard to ask or someone out on the streets.
All right. Let's say roll a general charisma check to see if you can find someone.
Let me actually open up my
I
character
assist?
sheet.
On a charisma check?
Yes.
How exactly are you going to do that?
I'll just like kind of stand behind her and wave my hands like ta-da.
Do I get
Disadvantage.
I get disadvantage now, right?
No, you get a straight roll. 18.
Ooh.
You look around and you do find two rather bored-looking human guards standing on a corner. And they kind of like perk up when you approach, not being a gnome and looking, more interesting than everyone else around.
Yay!
I mean, all the gnomes kind of wear like tones of browns and greens and blues, and here you are just like in white and red hair with a green
white-
orc at your side.
A white gold monster coming towards them, like.
Ah!
I walk towards them.
Kind of straighten
Excuse
up.
me.
Note your cleric robes. Yes, what can we do for you? Good day. Hi. Says the
I
younger
have
guy.
a question. Could either one of you point me towards the nearest temple, if there are any in the city?
Of which god would you be looking for? What kind of direction?
At this point, it doesn't actually. It doesn't specifically matter. I think.
there's a-
somewhere. Yeah. No. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
There's a small space of worship for Eileen, but I'm not sure there's a lot of clerics over there, and you might find some people in the Onas temple, but it's less temples like you'd probably be used to, ma'am.
That's quite all right.
All right.
Don't expect anything to be like Onaris.
I believe there's another abandoned temple somewhere, but that's probably not what you'd be looking for, right?
No, I'm looking for clerics specifically.
All right. The Temple of Onas, if you head into Naples, it's kind of on the border between Naples and you'd be hard pressed not to find it, ma'am. It kind of sticks out. It's marble.
Well, should be good then. I probably just want directions and.
Yeah. They give you good directions. You rolled a pretty decent charisma check.
Cool. We're just
Anything
gonna walk
else?
there.
Oh.
Not that I can think of.
All right, then. Good luck.
Thank you.
And you walk to the temple. It does stick out like a sore thumb between all these buildings that are kind of like a mix between medieval and steampunk, with like metal being used more in construction than in any other towns you've seen, but also mainly just nicely polished wood. And then there's this white and gray marble thing in the middle of it.
Wow. Before we get there, I believe Grawl wants to talk to me.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Jasmine. You've been a little bit quiet lately, and I am not totally sure on all the details yet. I'm only kind of like half there, but I was wondering if it had something to do with what happened in the camp a couple nights back.
I mean, I'm usually not the most talkative. Never have been.
Yeah, but this feels different.
Well, it was unexpected, and I had to deal with it. I'm good now.
The reason I'm asking is because
Jasmine starts walking a little faster.
My legs are longer than yours. I am going to keep pace.
I know.
The reason I'm
the fast-
asking...
Sorry, the faster I walk, the sooner we get there.
Uh-huh.
is because I'm sure you could kind of tell, but I have a little bit of a history with those people, or at least the people they're with. And I kind of had the fuzzy idea that, like, they knew something about you. And I was wondering if there was anything you could tell me about them, or, like, something like that.
No, actually, I can tell you that as you already surmised, I knew the gnome at some point, and I can tell you that he's new blood in that group, and that's all I can tell you.
Is that
Except
really all you can tell me? I mean,
you get to roll an insight, I think, because I'm not gonna tell you if that's all I know or not.
Okay, I would like to roll an insight. Is that all that Jasmine knows? Oh man,
Yes,
Can't
you can
wait to
definitely
see
roll
how-
an insight.
this wisdom check turns out.
Honey, could you go on the hotspot again?
Hmm?
Could you go on the hotspot again?
Can do, yeah.
With the laptop as well?
Mhm.
Thank you. Sorry, my internet just lagged and I know why, so I'm fixing it. Insight, okay. Could you roll me whatever charisma check is needed for this? Well, it's deception, but go.
Yeah.
Grawl, in an incredibly insightful bout of 20 versus a natural 1,
Wow.
you definitely see that she is, and perhaps has been this whole time, hiding something, and she really does not want to talk about this. You can surmise from what she just said about the gnome and everything that that rabbit hole probably leads to more places she doesn't want to talk about.
I did send you a message about what I know about these people is one more thing, and I did send you that. That's what I think. I'm not even sure if I know that. It's what I think.
To me, or
No,
why
no,
do
to
you,
Emma.
Why do you think that?
God dang it. Hold on.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just I need to be reminded of things sometimes, because sometimes I spend 2 hours rewriting the names for my months and weekdays in the campaign instead of preparing, and then I just
There you go.
oops. Ah, you mean
That's
the
why I think that.
leader.
Yes, that's the only guy I know something about.
Ah.
The other people I don't.
You are allowed to think that.
Cool. Because I'm not gonna say I don't even know for sure. Like Jasmine
Yes.
and I think this.
I won't say anything further on it, though.
No. It's not even that relevant.
Yeah. The aforementioned rabbit hole was a different one.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But that's what you see, Grawl. It's like suddenly you can read a tell, and then you realize you've seen that tell before.
hey,
It's very subtle.
listen, I'm not going to force you to tell me anything you don't want me to, but it might be helpful to me. I don't think it's a secret that there was some animosity there between me and them. Tell you what,
Alright.
when you're ready to talk about it, I'll tell you why they were after me too. If
Let's be very
you're ever ready to
very
talk about
clear.
it.
I've only met one of those people before in my life, and I don't know any of them.
I mean, it seems like they knew something about you, but I'm not going to pry if you don't want to talk about it.
That's fair.
Also,
Nothing's building theories in his head.
can we please stop jogging? I still feel horrible. I'm hungover.
Oh, well, it's there. We're almost there.
Someone wants to get out of this conversation.
You could see people in the street can now see a very tall half orc and a
Yep.
woman in full dress outfit, like a full nice outfit,
Mhm.
run towards the street. Like,
Yep.
Yep.
Are you wearing that?
I'm
Are
about
you
to get
wearing your
arrested.
full plate? Actually,
Hmm?
are you wearing your full plate like under that?
yeah.
Clonk, 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 clonk.
Because it's Mithril. Amazing. Like,
Oh boy.
it's in a library somewhere. Like, what the?
The fuck?
Oh.
Nice. Yep.
I really hope I'm not on any wanted posters after my blackout last night, because it's not going to take people very long to find me.
No, that's what happened the last time you got blackout drunk. You think I'm going to recycle ideas that fast?
I don't know. I just
Depends
assume
on
I'm
what
going to do illegal things when I black out.
This
Sounds like a you problem.
this is turning
Also,
into a puff
Kaskin
and
did
forth
most of the
video.
illegal things.
Yeah, it was mostly Kaskin.
That's what- this
Like
is
we
all
don't know what
Kaskin.
Charm did yet.
Well,
What did? And I was like, I sort of felt, by the way, that Charm was gonna like more or less come with anyone, and now we've just left her. And like, I get it on your end, but I was like, fuck it.
oh,
I'm just
Charm
gonna...
is fine. We'll get to her.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry. Like last time we left her alone, she single-handedly unlocked a plot point, so like she's fine. And then proceeded to tell you about it openly and comprehensively. Can you imagine?
Comprehensively, help!
What? That
No subversion. What is this madness? Is this a party member?
is this a productive party member? Anyway,
Is this a healthy relationship with your coworkers? What the fuck?
Jasmine kind of closes up again after that towards you, Growl, and you continue towards the temple, and as you come up to it, both of you kind of go like that awkward small talk after a bit of silence, like, oh, it does stick out. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's the yeah, you can't miss it. That's true. Yeah. As you go to the entrance, no clerics outside. Couple of guards like spread across like the surrounding area, not necessarily around the temple. Which to you, Jasmine, you're used to temples being these hubs of people coming for help and people coming for advice and travelers and clerics and acolytes and paladins and all the things, but this kind of seems a little like dead in the water. The doors are open a little bit. You can step inside, and you do recognize pretty much the usual straightforward, beautiful but very efficient architecture of an Onos temple. It seems that this one doesn't double as a sort of police precinct as the one in Onaris does. This is more of a real full temple as you kind of come directly into the area of worship, which is not quite Spartan in decoration. There is some comfort to it, and it is lit, but nothing of the like nice open windows that let in daylight or the fires that are continuously stoked in Fieri temples. It's more of a, I hesitate to compare it to a modern day like church, but it's kind of like with the heating a big building, and it's getting to winter and there's not a lot of people in there when you step in. There's a few candles lit, basically that kind of energy. You do see two people standing in the far end. One of them looks to be a gnome as well, in cleric robes, or maybe more acolyte robes, and one of them looks to be in a rather elderly human, looking to be the head of the establishment, given the colors he wears, which you would be educated in to recognize a cleric by his robes, basically. Both of them, as the door opens, and I guess the church comparison is the best because you hear it in the entire building when the front door opens.
Yep.
Both of them turn towards the door and kind of like perk up a little bit. Of course, see this red, white, and gold person step in with a half-orc that is sleeveless in his breastplate, and and like big muscles bulging out, and the WWE belt around his waist. And both of them kind of like cringe for a second. Until they come to realize that you're not there, like you're not both of you are kind of like out of breath from the jogging, and like you're not coming in there to
sweating
hurt
here
them.
right now.
Yeah.
I might puke again.
Nobody expects the Onaris Inquisition.
And the gnome, you see, kind of like pats the human on the forearm and steps forward, slowly, carefully comes towards you and says, "Hello? To what do we owe this pleasure? Sir, ma'am, is there anything wrong?"
Yes, we'd like some help, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, what normal people do at a temple?
We're, Normandy is not a very religious place. We
I
usually
figured.
only get the sick folk or the angry folk. So, apologies.
Oh, that's quite all right. Well, yeah. Could we call you sick, Raw? Not really.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty sick right now, but this is
Yeah, but that's different reasons.
yeah,
That's your own fault. Okay, the other thing is also you.
Tangential to that.
Well,
That is a big word.
blessings of the Forge be with you, first and foremost. It's not often that representative of another temple visits us. I'm not sure we remember the proper etiquette, ma'am. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. I think, Grawl, I think you can explain your problem best yourself.
Yes, do come in. Would you perhaps want me to get the master and just sit in the more comfortable room in the back? We have a little office. There's a couch.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
All
really
right.
love to sit down right now.
Come on through. Can I offer you a spot of tea or some water?
Can I just have like a pitcher of water?
I would like some tea.
I can do that. Yes. Tea for you. Okay. We only have one kind of tea, so I can't unfortunately give you
It'll be quite
much
all
of a
right.
plate.
So nervous.
Well, my name is Tarek. Nice to meet you. I'm an acolyte of the temple. I felt the calling and been here for a few years. And our head priest, only priest over there is Vannard, Master Vannard. He doesn't like going by his first name, so.
All right.
Right. I'll let you introduce yourself. You're probably better fit to do it than me, and I'll go get you some refreshments and meet you in the room in the back. Yes. Okay. And he kind of like walks away nervously, walks backwards the first few steps, and then turns around and keeps walking. As far as gnomes go, probably a pretty young guy, as far as you can guesstimate. Probably also didn't think that this was the kind of service he was going into when he chose this profession. But yeah. Like, the only acolyte in a big temple.
Well.
Currently. As you walk forward to Master Vannard, he kind of like, as far as he can, straightens on his walking stick and nods to you and says, I must say I haven't seen any women of the fiery goddess in a few decades.
I mean, it's a shame that no others go out here, but...
Yes, well, it's mostly us that go to them. It's not been busy. I think,
that I can imagine.
Yes, I think Onaris is considering cutting this branch down completely, but spreading worship is still important. I think we must remain, even though it is hard now.
It's definitely important.
I assume Tarek invited you to the back room.
Yes, he did.
Apologies for his nervousness. He doesn't often see people with magical items at all, let alone ones that match. It's a kind of motions to your outfits.
Well,
Sandy's
we're
laughing at
lucky.
you.
That's how
Yeah.
we know we've made it to the big time. Our magical items match each other.
Wow.
Well, I'm a bit slow, so I'll follow you. It's that door in the back.
Oh god.
All right. Sure.
Kind of hobbles along. Walking speed probably 20 feet compared to your 30 feet plus.
I mean, I know you meant physically, but I've seen so many British comedians just naming slow as a different meaning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to guiltily walk as slowly as my overlong legs will take me so he doesn't feel like he's being rushed.
Oh, thank you, young man. I really don't mind. I take things at my own pace. Other people will just have to wait.
Well, I'd say that's a good
Pushes up his glasses.
idea to have. I can't remember the word right now, dang it.
By the time you all make your way into the little back room at the back, there is a couch. It's small. Kind of like a coffee table and a couple chairs spread around. Little mismatching chairs, but eh. And there's a desk in the back. Very messy desk. With also what looks to be some potion bottles and some herbs, and it's a room that's used to do everything here. From a smaller door in the side comes Tarek with kind of like a tray that's wobbling a little bit. It's a heavy tray because there's both the tea kettle and like a little jug of water on there. Okay, he's holding it with both hands, like pushing the door open with his back. Straightens when he sees you're there already.
I mean, if I can, I'll take the picture just to like make things easier for him as soon as he gets in the room.
Before you get to him, he's like, no, don't. It's a balance. It's a balance. It's balanced. I can do this. Please, sit
Sorry,
down.
Thank you. You're doing God's work. I'm gonna wait for my water.
I would take over the entire platter from him because I'm, a little bigger than he is, and that's just easier for him. But sure.
He brought you a rather large glass and like a big, like washing jug of water because you are very big in his perception.
I mean, I'm gonna need it. I haven't rehydrated yet.
And for you, he brings just grocery store tea, basically like normal tea. As Master Vanard sits down, you can hear like a crack, probably like a bone somewhere.
God.
Wow.
When we get back to Onaris, we have to get as much money for this church as we can.
Yes, we do.
He sits down. So, what can I help you with?
Well, like I said, Kral, I think you'd best explain what's up. What's going on? Sorry.
Yeah,
He'll take the jug away from his face. I assume he's at least halfway through it by now.
I've had my memory wiped, I think 4 times in the last week.
Oh.
A lot of different sources.
On purpose?
Only once. Yeah, those flasks that they give you at the ends around here, I wasn't really ready for that. Should have the pamphlet.
You drank the whole thing.
Yeah. I figured I was big. No problems.
Well, if you had been smaller, you would have landed here earlier, friend.
Yeah, good to know.
Or perhaps in the hospital, but... well...
That's actually the other problem that I need to bring up. This isn't the only weird alcohol I've imbibed in the last week, and
If it's a confession you're looking for, we should probably change the setting of this
I'm just staring at
conversation.
Grawl like, this is how you introduced us?
what's a confession?
This is not a confession. He really just wants help. Preferably
Right.
of a restoration
Yeah.
type.
I'm really having trouble not thinking about the other weird alcohol with the embarrassing name.
Someone drank too much unicorn mist.
Yeah, the one with the embarrassing name.
Can't say I've ever heard of it, but then again,
Probably
you
an
young
Onaris
folk
thing.
have new things all the time.
God, I feel like I'm being scolded by my grandpa.
You are.
Well, we can help you. And it is certainly commendable that you show regret for destructive actions in your past. That is a good path. You seem like a strong lad. Everyone can use a bit of order in their lives.
Grawl hasn't been called a lad since he was 9. He's actually gonna look a little guilty. Like, shit.
Well, if you have any idea of the type of magics you've been influenced by, then we can probably come to a conclusion of what is necessary.
Alright, so, first memory wipe was, the salmon eggs.
Salmon eggs.
Magic, don't. Grawl. This is not helping.
I literally have no other idea how to describe these, okay? I walked next to the salmon eggs. I've lost my memories. Nobody offered anything else besides Caskin, so that is all I have to go on. You know,
Right.
maybe if one of our casters had told me what actually happened, I would be able to tell this man instead of embarrassing myself.
I don't know. I wasn't there in that room.
You're not embarrassing yourself. Perhaps it would be easier to remember the things you do remember if we got rid of this hangover. And he kind of taps your knee. You feel the kind of familiar sensation of a lesser restoration go through you.
Oh, thank God, that is the best spell.
So, salmon eggs.
Yeah, we were underwater. What... Jasmine, what was the name of the town we were in again?
I truly don't remember, right? Oh, it's Steeplebrook. Sorry, I did actually write it down.
Whoa.
Thank you. I didn't.
That's one of the last things I wrote down. Whoops.
Can't say I'm familiar.
It's quite a ways
It's,
away, and we were there underwater, indeed, to help the town. And there was indeed some kind of protection magic that would erase, in this case, erase memories.
All right.
And that's what hit him as well. I believe your memories are coming back, Grawl, so that's lesser the issue. It's mainly the issue, the fact that he has in fact this addiction, and I can't help him. And I would like to, because we are going to keep traveling, and we will not be able to get unicorn mist anywhere.
That would be to the unicorn mist, then, yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
but besides
I'm calling that the main problem.
Yeah, but besides the first memory wipe, somebody else
It's fine.
wiped my memory this morning.
Grawl is
Okay,
going to get punched
yeah.
in the head really hard. Because there are certain things that he's not supposed to tell people.
My children, you can trust that I do not mind the circumstances of however you came to be impacted by this magic. If it happened last week or today, I do not need to know.
Can I roll an
That's
insight
why I'm
check?
telling him.
What does he
Done.
think happened?
He doesn't seem to think anything. He doesn't seem to care.
Okay.
If it is the modification of memory type of magic that you're talking about, then you would be in need of a greater restorative spell. That
That's
you
what I
might
thought.
perhaps get at the hospital. It taxes my lungs quite a bit to cast magic of such power anymore, and they have it more readily available.
Dang
You
it.
can always come back if they refuse. But
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Then, where can we find the hospital? Because we have no idea where anything is in the city.
I assume you're staying at the Silver Dagger if you got the party concoctions. Yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
yes, it's good to know the hotspots of travelers coming to harm. It should be right around the corner from there.
Quick question. Am I still addicted to unicorn mist after that lesser resto?
Yes.
Yes?
Okay, good to know.
Every restoration spell only cures one effect.
Oh, so we prioritize the hangover.
No, it was a lesser restoration.
Mhm.
We
I
need
mean, I don't think we
greater.
ever tested if a lesser could handle the addiction, but
No,
yeah,
you didn't.
good.
We didn't, because I assumed that it would. I surmised that it wouldn't work. As a
I
cleric.
think Jasmine rolled for it once, and she didn't roll incredibly high, but she had the gut feeling that it might need something more.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's why we
just
didn't do
making
it.
sure.
I can try. It's just
No
it sounds like
worries.
there's multiple things affecting you, and we would need to be sure to target the correct one. You see.
Yes, so we will go to the hospital instead.
Well, if it's only you were speaking of multiple effects, if it's only one you need help with, then I can do that.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
still saying
I can take or leave the memories. Can we just get the addiction sorted out?
that would be the most important one. Yes.
Have you considered just taking a disciplined approach to it and trying to condition yourself?
I would try to do this with him, but you have seen him. I also told him not to drink it too much, and then he drank the entirety of that bottle. I am not going to try.
Difficult to convince this one. A strong will is good, lad, but only if used in a constructive and orderly fashion.
Yeah, I'm realizing that more and more with each passing month.
Well, it's good that you do. You're on a good road. Well, if you do not ask of my help, then is there anything else I can do?
We would like your help if you are willing to try, but I don't want you to overexert yourself too much.
No, of course. One should be entirely possible. It's just if there are any other effects resting on you that could be cured by a greater restorative spell, then you should probably tell me so I can avoid them.
Yeah,
There's the memory modification.
There's memory mods.
Salmon
the alcohol.
eggs. Okay.
I think that was just a magical effect, like she was saying. Maybe the salmon eggs were just for decoration.
Yes.
So 2 magical memory modifications, 1 gnome juice, and then the addiction.
The party beverage is more due to the effects of regular alcohol. A restorative spell won't magically restore your memories from that night.
Honestly,
Anything else we're missing, Grawl? That I don't know about?
I am scratching my head because I'm terrified that something else might be on me right now.
There's a GS on you.
Oh, that is an important one.
That's a really important one.
That one's old but gold.
Yeah, I kind of have another magical effect that just keeps me from saying something I'm not supposed to. Kind of like my friend here, with the punching.
I mean, if it's about saying something you're not supposed to, then there's also another one affecting you.
Yep.
I hate sand. It's coarse.
I knew that's what you
Sure.
meant, but I'm trying to decide if I can talk about it enough to warn the old man.
Ah.
There's also another magical effect that keeps me from
So
talking.
much stuff.
Can you just ignore that? And just for safe measure, there's also a friendly magical effect that's suppressing something else. Don't need to get too specific on that, right?
All right, Tarek, this is a very specific case. I've only seen a person so affected by multiple magics at the same time that came from the Southern Isles.
Do I need to tell him I'm a werebore?
You're not
I don't
allowed.
know.
God, this feels like going to
Oh,
the
God.
doctor after you've skipped checkups for a couple years.
I was briefly
Wait.
addicted to cocaine. Oh yeah, and I also didn't exercise the past 2 years.
Healthcare should be a sentient right. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? I'm
Right.
gonna leave it off there. That's all I'm telling him about.
Did you perhaps just come from the Southern Isles excavations, boy?
I've never been to the Southern Isles.
Then you're just unlucky.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like it.
That he is.
I assume you're the type of man that runs headfirst and headlong into situations, yes?
Yeah, I also have a real problem with saying yes when people ask me questions. I need to not do that so much.
Good conclusion. It would be very helpful to take care so that you can take better care of others.
Yeah, I don't even have a retort to that one.
If it's your strength that it makes you of value to your companions, then some tenacity and some restraint with it will pay itself off in dividends rather quickly. We have a few brochures, if you'd like them, on how to bring order into your life.
You know what?
I,
Yeah, sure,
I think
I'll
we're
take
good
one.
for now. Oh, yes, alright, well...
And you know what? For the hangover cure and the attempt at taking away the addiction, however it goes, he's just gonna plop down 10 gold. His last 10 gold. Hopefully this helps you keep the doors open for a while.
Given the spell I'm about to cast, no, that does not compare to the material components, but you are in need of help and you are showing self-reflection in it, so we do not require payment for it. I shall give it to Tarek to send home to his family.
Alright, that's fine.
Tarek kind of like, okay.
I just wanted to make a donation. You can do with it whatever with it.
Yeah, the material components of Greater Restoration cost 500 gold per cast.
Wait, I thought it was 100 diamond dust.
500 diamond dust per cast.
Wait,
It's
It's-
100 over
Really?
D&D Beyond as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Raw
100.
is 100. Yeah.
What?
I used to play a life cleric. I know this stuff.
Why have I been spending 500?
I mean, that would mean that like Greater Restoration would be more expensive than Revivify, and like
That is
Yeah.
very fair.
I mean, it would be easier to just let them die and then bring them back.
Wow, I
Yep.
have been...
It's 5th level with 100 diamond dust.
Yep.
Senti, I want some diamond dust back.
What?
oh, it's a crossover episode.
I want some diamond dust back.
No,
Greater Rest costs 100, not 500.
it's too bad.
oh man.
Well then.
Dazzle it up a little, you know. So.
Okay,
I'm
fine,
gonna
then I'll
ask-
quit the campaign.
Do I need to go to a break so you can have it out?
No, I just quit the campaign. It's fine. That's the solution.
That's bad. Sandy, I heard you have a
Then they
room.
work too.
I heard you have a spot on your campaign. Let's go.
Novelist heard you had a spot on your campaign.
He wants in.
A deep sigh. No, we
That
were
was
just
not a
talking
sigh.
about. They were just talking
Oh.
about the future of the campaign today, which is why we can joke about this. About my boyfriend's campaign. Anyway,
Wow.
it costs 100. Oh, okay. Well, then you still paid 10%, and it's still a lot of money. So except for what I said out of game, still stands in that regard. It's still.
I mean, I would give him more,
Sure.
but I also
No,
don't have anything left.
I have to have
He
something
literally
of value on
said.
me.
He didn't literally say, but he said, "It's fine, guys. It's fine." That's basically what he said.
Wait,
I know, but I
I
want
have
to
a
give him
healing
stuff too.
potion. I'm giving him a healing potion.
No, you are not.
No.
Okay, I'm not.
These are his items. Let him do what he wants.
You need that more than me, son. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm the one who needs to get him up again, so he's not giving that away.
Here, Tarek, go grab the brochure I was talking about. Tarek kind of like awkwardly stands up, kind of walks to the desk, opens it up, leafs through a bit.
Let's see if I can put a third god on me.
You went to the God of Order, Justice, and Atonement. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting to feel so guilty. I don't know why I wasn't expecting to feel so guilty.
Atonement! Also an old man, you know, is...
Yeah.
Look. As Tarek returns with kind of like this little booklet, Master Fennard leans forward and kind of like puts his hand on your arm and says, please close your eyes, and if you could focus on the effect and the cause that you would like me to heal.
I'm going to think about downing most of a bottle of unicorn mist because I was upset Kaskin wouldn't talk to me and how that might have been a poor decision.
Might have been. All right. This divine energy, and you're starting to notice it now from the sheer amounts that you've had flow through you, like from the cleric the cleric spells that Jericho had, to Jasmine's healing spells, to Rin's healing spells, to... This is entirely different yet again. It's more sure, more steady. There's less fanciful, tingly feelings or anything like that to it. It's more of a sense of cleanness and newness that just washes through you all at once. It's kind of disorienting, and you feel yourself kind of being struck by a slight fear at the sense of newness, since, well, your memories have been tampered with enough these past few days. But you're able to shake it off as you feel yourself start sweating a little less. The air temperature around you feels a little more normal and pleasant. The cravings you had of that drink, gone. And you open your eyes to see that, like, Master Fannard, who had taken from a pouch at his hip kind of a handful of diamond dust, now puts away the ashes of what turned to ash in his hand into like a little bowl on the table. The spell component's spent, and the addiction is gone.
Thank God.
You do notice, whenever you think of unicorn mist, a distinct and clear sense of heavy nausea that may or may not have been added onto the spell. You're not sure whether that's normal as a recovering addict. That might be a little nudge towards the good and orderly path that you got.
Got it. Aversion therapy. We're all just gonna stand up. I think that did it. Thank you a lot. He's gonna offer his hand for like a handshake. I don't know what to do in a church.
He shakes it. That's all right. You'll excuse me if I don't stand up and lead you outside. Tarek will assist you.
It's quite all right. I bow.
Yeah,
like,
wipes
to
a little
him.
bit of sweat off his brow. And sits back a little, trying not to show how tired he is.
Aw.
Oh. I love this place. We are giving this place all the funding when we go back to Onaris.
All right. Meanwhile, You won't read the brochure now. If you read it later, I'll tell you what's in it. It's.
Yep.
Um,
I'm gonna curl up with it when I go to bed tonight.
So he's become addicted to a random alcoholic beverage. That's the
Charm.
time.
Yes. How big is this tavern?
It's rather large. There are two kind of different chambers to it. One seems to be the front room where, when it's not busy, the bar is open and alcohol is served. But as you know from last night, when there's a party going, the second bar opens, the second room opens. There's room made for a dance floor and all the like. You do
Is
also
there-
know of a more interesting tavern in the neighborhood, should you be looking for interesting taverns. But as you sit there, it takes but like 3 minutes for the rest of the Greystars to just get up, leave, after having stated where they're going, and Jasmine dragging Grawl off by the arm and completely forgetting that you're there, and you just sit there, finish your lunch, and what are you gonna do?
Is there a basement to this tavern?
You're not sure.
Okay.
There isn't one in the public pathways.
So here's my thought process, right? They thought that there was someone working in this tavern
Mm-hmm.
that was somehow connected to
Mm-hmm.
the place where we're trying to find.
Mm-hmm. Because
wanna
of
know if
their
there's a-
knowledge of empty stables.
Right. Which is probably a red herring, but I'm going to investigate it anyway.
All right.
I'm going to use my ability to see through walls
Uh-huh.
to try to find out if there's a basement and if there's anyone in it.
Okay. You just straight up see through it, right? I can describe if there's a basement, what's in it, basically.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
You kind of casually lean back with your notebook in front of you with the notes you just wrote and kind of like look down and concentrate your pendant around your neck, warming up in a familiar sense that's not visual, but it always like reminds you of the fact that it's there whenever you use one of these powers, which isn't the most pleasant thing in the world. But you're feeling good today. It's fine. As you look down, you see there is a basement. It looks to be a rather neatly organized storage space with a lot of barrels, bottles of various beverages. There seems to be a kind of storage space that, as far as you can tell, is somehow cooled, where there's food kept. There's a dry food storage. Just seems to be the classical basement of a well-organized, larger tavern. You don't see any doors, secret doors, or anything that would lead anywhere. No trap doors. The entrance from this seems to be through the kitchen and then down behind the bar.
Okay.
And there's currently no people there. The kitchen staff has just finished preparing lunch for the few people that were there, so are currently sitting around the kitchen table playing cards. And the other staff is just doing their job, as far as you can tell.
Okay. Can I make an insight check on any of the staff that I see to see if they are nervous or anticipating anything?
I'd say that's more of a general perception check to kind of glance over all the staff that you view around.
Okay.
18. They seem relaxed. One of them looks to be a little hungover, probably from participating in yesterday's festivities. You notice that that is the only human on staff that looks hungover, although the gnomes look fine.
Okay.
He's also very much losing at the game of cards. Otherwise, no one glancing over their shoulder nervously. No one's putting something in their pocket after looking around, or the staff here seems to be relaxed, if maybe a little bored even.
Okay, I'm going to go out to the stables
All right.
and
You-
repeat that.
Find all of the Greystar steeds minus the Mastiff. And one of them is a big white horse that is so large that her head like peeks above the stable doors. It looks quite menacing. Are those teeth sharp? Ugh. Those are the only steeds currently in these stables.
Okay. Any stable keeps, whatever they're called?
Doesn't look to be. These are small stables, probably not continuously kept by someone.
Okay. So, that reminds me.
Yes?
I've got to go see a man about a horse.
Mm-hmm. You just want to buy a horse?
I do. How much money do I have? Ooh, that's not going to be nice. I have no money. Okay. Well.
Okay.
How can I convince someone to give me a horse?
I don't know, you could get a quest from them that requires a horse.
True. Would I already have a horse?
Heavily flirt with someone that has a horse.
Would I already have a horse, though?
Given your previous travels, I would assume you would already have a horse, which is why I was surprised you still need one.
Okay, I definitely have a horse then.
That doesn't count as significant wealth, no.
Okay.
Especially not in your eyes. Your horse probably has its own colored blanket and its own saddle with your name engraved into it.
Okay.
You do need to come up with a name for the horse, though.
Terrence.
I mean, we all have it themed, but sure.
Such a Kaskin name to give.
Yup.
Why? Maybe her brother's name is Terrence. You don't know.
That's even worse.
And it would still be a Kaskin name to give to a horse.
Right.
It's a noob name to give to a horse.
Fair enough.
Let's see. There's nothing I can do to advance anything. So, I'm going to go find the highest or the busiest tavern, and I'm just going to start playing songs to make money.
All right. The busiest tavern here would be Jacoba's, which has the sign of a cogwheel around a vat of beer. It's relatively close to the Silver Dagger, but kind of more into Neverland than Nottingham, and takes you a little bit out of the tourist or traveler center of town and more into what you now assume to be more of the actual gnomish center of town, because the number of construct guards increases, the number of non-gnomish guards decreases, and it becomes far and far less common that you see someone else than a gnome cross the streets here. And you draw a couple looks, you being a purple tiefling, which is noticeable in a normal human city, but here it definitely stands out through size and regalia as well.
Actually, this is Gnome Town. They're not going to be drinking at 12 a.m. or not 12 a.m., whatever time it is. So I'm just going to pop down at a street corner and start playing.
All right. Roll a perception check.
All right. I miss expertise.
Next to an alley, he's gonna overhear a third conversation of a
No, third.
Shenanigans in a day and a half. For fuck.
No, as you are looking for a street corner to nicely perform on, probably less out of the gnomish center of town, you first see kind of a looks to be a halfling man currently standing on a pedestal or a soapbox type of deal. It's not Yonar.
But is it Kaskin?
No. It's not Kaskin. He's standing there. He's a lot younger than Kaskin would be as well. Standing there with a stack of books next to him and the stack of scrolls and a crate next to him, and he's yelling, "Buy my newest book now! 5 ways to get rich fast! Or come buy yourself some discount spell scrolls! Discount spell scrolls! Only here at this price, exclusively priced in Gnormandy, high quality spell scrolls."
Do Do I want spell scrolls? I do want spell scrolls. I'm gonna go talk to him.
All right. Hi, hello there, young lady. What can I do for you?
I'm a little interested in that spell scrolls. The spell scrolls you were talking about, discounted.
All right. Yeah. We have discounted spell scrolls, and also additionally, if you buy one of those spell scrolls, you get a free copy of my latest book, 5 Ways to Get Rich Quickly.
I see. So, can I see one of these spell scrolls?
Yeah, of course. I'll hand you a cantrip one, just to be safe, and he hands you a minor illusion one.
Minor illusion. If I read this, does it look like it's functional?
It's
Like,
currently
would it-
sealed.
Would it? I can't see if it would work then.
Yeah. It's to keep the folks from reading it on accident and the spell scroll going poof. You know, it's good merchandise. Wouldn't want to lose it on the street.
Well, you see, I'm a bit of a spellcaster myself, and generally, you do more than just read it. You have to actually cast the spell.
Well, if you want to read it, then that one you can read. Of course.
Okay. Unroll it and see if it's serviceable.
Mm-hmm. Roll an Arcana check.
Dang it. 21.
21.
Is that including your Jack of all trades? Or is that not a thing you have? Because I thought you were a bard.
I am a bard.
Probably.
Because you're also a warlock. I know that.
I mean, duh.
He is one of the
Just
weird
asking, just in
subclasses.
case. That's the thing you can enable.
Of course not.
I'm sorry, I just in real life I have the observant feat. So that's fine.
That doesn't mean you have to call it out. I'm currently looking.
Man.
You.
Noob, I imagine you're the kind of person that goes to New York and leaves with a Rolex now.
A Rolex with like quotation marks.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it. I lost my source.
4?
Things.
Okay.
And bits and things.
Bits and baubles and trinkets and...
Uh-huh. Ooh, I know where it was. All right. You read the scroll and something is most definitely off with it. This is not the minor illusion cantrip. But let me look at... Yeah, right there.
Keep in mind, guys, I have no money. I can't buy it if I wanted to.
It's hard to tell exactly what it does. Do you speak Draconic? Or like, do you read Draconic runes? Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so instead of minor illusion, it seems to be, well, with a 21 in that, then you would be able to see it. It's a minor intrusion spell, which would have make you feel like you have outstayed your welcome in your current location and you would have the urge to keep moving forward. That's a couple of spelling mistakes in the Draconic, but it's there.
Interesting. Guys, we need to buy this guy scrolls. Who knows what'll happen?
He also has a Lightning Bolt, Animate Dead, and Ice Blade.
Lightning bolt, animate dead, and
I feel
ice
like the
blade.
animate dead one would do some crazy shit.
I'm sorry, did you say animate undead or anime undead?
I said Animate Dead.
Okay, just checking.
Please give me a lightning bolt. Interesting. How do I get this off this guy? I gotta scam him somehow.
Well, are you buying, miss? Does it look like a good spell to you?
Well, you see, reading over this scroll, these are not exactly. They're not exactly what you have said them to be.
He takes it back from him and says, I can't imagine that, ma'am, but if you're not looking to buy, then,
I
well,
do
have a
have
good
to
day.
ask, where do you get your supply from?
That's for me and my supplier to know, and for you to never find out, miss.
Hmm.
Unless, of course, you want to read my copy of 5 Ways to Get Rich Quickly.
Insight check. Would he
Roll
tell
insight.
me if
And
I
I'll
bought
check.
this book?
And all the pages say, go work at a Royal Mint. That's how you say.
Actually, let me set to DM roll.
Sell crappy books.
Yes, I know exactly.
Be like
what's gonna
me,
be in that
scam
book.
everyone.
Invent a social media app.
Do you think there's going to be a new book called Art of the Steal? That's just like ribbing Joe
Self-services on
Biden?
Fiverr.
Yeah, self-services on Fiverr. Well, actually, I mean, if it's good enough.
He seemed like he would tell you.
Hmm. All right.
Only
about
2 gold
this?
per copy, miss.
How about this?
But you'll earn
You-
back your money in no time.
You're obviously not the most personable man I've ever found.
I'm sorry.
So, I have an offer for you. You see, I'm a bard. People trust me, you know.
He starts packing up his stuff. You just offended him.
Oh,
And then you let a
That was on
pause drop.
purpose. That was on purpose.
Yeah, he starts packing up his stuff.
I say, well, if I sort of do a little bit of advertisement for you, would you mind giving me the name of your supplier?
I don't need no advertisement, miss. Sales are
Yes.
going just fine.
I believe that you do.
I believe that I don't. Sales are going just fine, miss. Thank you.
All right. I honestly didn't expect anything from that. That was a Hail Mary.
Yeah, you didn't give him any reason to doubt, so...
I know. All right, let's see. What can I do to this guy? Absolutely nothing.
You see from the covers of his books that his name is Edgar.
Okay. I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
All right. Would you like to roll a sleight of hand check to do that subtly, or does it not have somatic or verbal components?
Oh, it has. Let me look it up. Detect Thoughts has verbal, somatic, and verbal, somatic, and material.
All right.
So I will roll a sleight of hand.
Uh-huh.
That's not a big bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 20.
All right. The spell works. He doesn't
Okay.
seem to notice.
What's he thinking about right off the bat?
Getting-
God damn this woman.
Getting away from here as soon as possible because you're weird and you're bad for business, what with your outlandish looks. Also, he seemed a little nervous about you asking all those questions.
Yeah, I say, look, unlike most people on this planet, I can read what's actually written on those scrolls. What you're selling are counterfeits.
Those are magical runes, miss. There's not a lot of reading to them.
Ma'am, I know exactly what those magical runes
It's a dude.
mean.
His name is Edgar.
I still say ma'am.
How do I know you're not lying?
Would you like me to prove it?
No, thank you. I think I prefer to get out of here.
And about that supplier, I'd like you to tell me who it is. Otherwise,
From behind you approaches a construct, similar to the ones you had seen before around town.
okay.
Kind of comes up beside you and turns its torso to kind of stand between the two of you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It seems you were casting a spell on this person in secret.
Actually, it's cast on me, and I'm also immune to divination magics.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Okay.
What spell was it?
Detect thoughts.
Why did you need to detect thoughts?
Because this man's running a scam.
How do you know that?
Because I can read what's actually on these scrolls. He's selling them as, they're common. What? All right, 1 second. Let me rethink that. He's selling these scrolls, but he has no idea what's written on them. And what he's advertising them as is false.
I believe he is advertising as discounted spell scrolls.
Right, but he also put a name to the spell that's on them. This one, he said, was... what was it? Minor illusion. But really, the runes on it indicated that it was minor intrusion.
That seems like a pedantic mistake.
But in the purvey of magic, even a minor mistake can change the outcome completely.
And you believe that someone running a scam gives you the right to intrude upon their personal thoughts?
Yes.
That
They're
is
trying
not
to
how
intrude
things
on
work
my
in
wallet.
the city, ma'am. We will let you go off with a warning, but in the future, please refrain from non-consensual casting.
All right.
Unless it is in self-defense, I am afraid that does not fall under the exclusion.
Well, I would hope that you would also do something about this.
Of course, ma'am. Would you like to file an official report?
Yes.
What is your name?
Charm Rochette.
Where are you from?
Les Aiguilles.
Is that your born name or your married name?
Born.
All right. Are you currently registered as a citizen of Les Aiguilles?
Probably. Yes.
Probably. Are you single?
Yes. Why? Why do you need to know that?
That is a standardized question on most governmental forms, miss. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
No, I have to tell the DMV every time I go.
Yeah, but on a police report. All right.
Yeah. It's to make sure you're the person you say you are. It's like, do you have any family, basically? Like, what are your contact details?
I'll give him my P.O. box with the Genesis Guild.
I have noted down all your previous statements about this man. Would you like to elaborate or change any of it?
Well, would insults help?
Not particularly.
Then no.
All right. If you would please like to shake my hand as a form of signature, ma'am.
I shake his hand.
Okay. Thank you. Your report is submitted. You will receive a response in 10 to 12 business days.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yeah, I guess.
Then you are free to go now, ma'am. I shall now talk to this man for his report on his scam.
All right. I'm just going to sit there.
You're going to sit there?
Yeah, he sat and listened to my report. I'm going to sit and listen to his.
All right. He basically denies. He basically he's talking like, I didn't do it, and if I did it, I didn't do it on purpose.
Inside check.
Oh, that's the gist of his story.
Ow.
From a previous insight check, you can see that he's trying to talk his way out of it, but probably had some hand in it. But he's also not formulating it very well, so you assume middle track.
All right.
I assume you still have the minor intrusion scroll in your hand as you walk away.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Would you like to make a sleight of hand check to steal more scrolls?
No, not with a
No.
guard who has ungodly amounts of perception right there.
What? He only needed
Oh.
to roll high.
No, I
That's
know,
not
that's
the
what I'm
question
saying.
You should ask yourself. You should ask yourself, would charm steal more scrolls?
Not with a guard
said
with
no.
ungodly amounts of perception right there.
Hey man, maybe some guards are made specifically to be charismatic and some guards are made specifically to be perceptive. They're constructs,
Oh, yeah.
after all.
What I'm saying is, if that guy doesn't have expertise in perception, he's messing up. All right,
right.
I'm out. I got my free scroll.
After all of your adventures, find your way back at around 3 p.m. in the afternoon to the Silver Dagger Tavern.
I don't know if I already asked this earlier, but am I on the wanted posters?
No.
Okay, good.
And that's where we'll take a short bio break.
All
A
right.
short break.
Okie dokie.
Hey, Kobe, come here.
And we're back after a short break in which no significantly important life topics were discussed. We went on a tangent. The Greystars find themselves back in the Silver Dagger Tavern, which is still quite empty. In fact, they're the only patrons there right now. And whatever do you have to share?
You know, I just read the spell components for Hold Person,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a straight piece of iron. And if I was the DM, I feel like if someone took fall damage, I'd roll, and then if they failed that, their straight piece of iron would be a little bent.
I mean, unless you use a spell focus, in which case you don't
I
use
know. I know.
which you do.
I know.
You honestly think DM is gonna make a list of all the spell components their wizard currently has in his bag? Hell no.
Hey, maybe he just wants you to roll for if his loot gets broken next time he falls.
Anyway, Charm has some kind of fever dream in which a DM exists, and then
I'm also hearing an echo.
Oh, is that on me?
test
think it
1,
was.
2, 3, 4.
Test, test, test.
It's fixed on my end.
Yeah, I don't hear one.
Same.
All right.
To actually get back to it now.
Yeah. We're all here. I'm not a DMPC anymore, so I can't start the conversation, guys.
Dang it.
It's good to see we're all back. Quite some
Yeah,
timing.
I don't think I'm addicted to unicorn mist anymore, which is great.
You were what?
Jasmine just sits at the table like, okay.
Charm is frivolously writing down in her book.
I am grabbing
Wait, hey, stop!
her pen.
We will come
I don't-
back to that. Actually, considering, did anyone get like the sending stone that Kaskin had?
Yeah, he gave it to me.
No, he was in your bedroom. He didn't
Yeah,
give
you
it to
haven't
you.
been in your room since, Jarl.
Oh wait, he did just leave it in my room. I haven't been
Yup,
in my room
like
in
a
2
dipshit.
days.
You haven't been there.
I don't think I ever went in there. I just bought the room and it's just been sitting there.
You went in there to take the
you drank
drink.
shit,
Oh.
and then you like went to shit. So yeah. Okay. Well, okay, that's something for a later time. Honestly, turns out that the herbalists were closed for a good reason. Is that they're like one of their main stocks that they use for their enchanting is actually out. So that makes both the metal and what they call inverted foxglove, which apparently... did I learn that it grew on the ground? Or didn't I? I'm
You
not sure anymore.
learned that it did not grow above ground.
Okay. Logically. So it doesn't grow above ground, and considering that we have this potential contract concerning a mine, and the troubles there, and that might be connected, but that's sadly as far as I could dig, so that's all I have.
Well, I got a weird spell scroll. Yeah, some dude was running a scam, and I got a scroll. I can't really use it all that well, so I'll hand it to Mira.
It's a scroll of evolution.
So
yeah.
What's wrong with this exactly?
Well, the runes on it are wrong. If you use that spell on someone, they'll just feel like they're intruding. So you can use that to make them go away.
Please use that on someone who flirts with you. I beg of you.
But is it? Yeah, that'd be amazing. But is it can I discern? Is it a self cast or is it actual like a targeted cast? Can I make that out? Because I the first thing I understood was that it was a trick spell that actually made you, the caster, feel that it weren't welcome anymore.
Same.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that.
Could
even with an Arcana check?
You're a sorcerer.
That is true.
I can read scrolls.
You can read scrolls, yes, but you can't dig into the enchantment and figure out like the exact way it's built up, especially if someone says it's wrong.
She made that magic book that...
Lest we forget, bards are arcane casters.
So am I.
Yeah.
But you're a sorcerer. Sorcerers normally don't use
Why do I
books.
have an Arcana proficiency?
Because you have an innate talent with it, but you never studied for it. You studied for herbalism.
True. I'm a beginner at it.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
You can do basic enchantments, and if you ever get to higher enchantments, then you probably could.
Okay. Let's put a bit in that.
Let's perhaps
fair enough.
go away.
Perhaps we can think of a use for that later. Just gonna put that away. Like take out the scroll holder and just like dash it in with the rest of it. Put the lid back on. Put it away. Gonna write that down.
That thing is gonna do something amazing 50 sessions from now.
It's still just a cantrip, guys.
I totally forgot to take the armor with us. Fuck. Oh well.
Wait, there was an armor thing we were supposed to do?
Yeah, we were supposed to identify that one.
Oh.
And I super didn't do that because I totally forgot again. So yeah, oops, oh well. Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of distraction going on, so that makes sense.
Yeah, big fun there.
But that's let's see if we can't unpack it within 2 minutes. Addicted to what?
Yeah, that weird Sparkles drink from Onaris. Remember? Had it the first time at the inn coming in. Made the chandeliers look crazy.
That bottle of god-awful stuff that he gave to me at some point.
Hmm.
And then drank in its entirety, apparently.
I mean, there was only like half of it left, but...
And once again, I still have my hand over Charm's writing hand. Just holding it.
I'm just gonna crack my knuckles.
Oh, Charm, you remember the unicorn mist fiasco in Onaris like a week ago?
Oh, shit.
I'll ask one thing.
Uh-oh.
What did you learn from this?
I mean, if you're gonna try to make me feel guilty, don't worry. The priest at that temple did a better job than I think you could ever do. I honestly
Goodness,
felt
yes.
sorry and I made a donation.
I'll learn more of that later, but that's not answering my question.
Don't drink weird chemicals anymore.
For example?
I mean, that's growth, if I ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, Priest also very kindly asked me him actually, why we wouldn't just try and, get him off it naturally. I'm just not going to even attempt it. It's. Crow
Well,
wants to
considering I have
grab
nothing-
something.
Considering I have nothing of the components here, I can, normally I could over time make something that would help wean him off with a bit of very hardy work, but
It's either that or cold turkey. We have nothing else, and
True,
I
and
don't
considering-
trust that this will just other drinks will help his cause at all.
Yeah, that really didn't work last night.
No, really.
Bro, you
Still
were
holding Trump's hand.
you were 6 roll points on a D100 away from cheating on Rin. You don't even know how close you were.
Oh god.
Actions
Wait,
have
when you said
consequences.
when you said that he woke up in a very soft something, I was so worried.
Yeah, me too, honestly. But
Oh.
And there was a very frightening lady next to you.
it was.
I don't want to think about that.
You should. But it's done now. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm all better. Cleric cast the thing. I feel better. Nothing else to say there.
I think Rawl probably dropped that pamphlet with me at some point because he's not.
Oh no, I want to
No?
read it.
Yeah, he has it. He wants to read it.
Dang, because otherwise I would have shown that towards Mira. See, this is how good they were.
fair. So
You can think in your own one if you want.
Also, on an unrelated note,
I can't really. Not as a.
simple.
You can.
Just gonna say, when we get back to Onaris, we should maybe mention that temple. They could use some funding.
A couple
It
hundred
just-
times.
Make the previous point clear. Just because you serve one god doesn't mean that you can't show other people to another god, because your god might not be the best fit for everyone. It's kind of
I know that, but
but you can take a flyer is what I meant.
the point is that I feel like Fiari is a very jealous god, so I probably shouldn't give too much attention to other.
No, she is very selective, so
That's what the fire thing is like. When I was like a little tempered, so I'm like,
not necessarily jealous.
no, yeah, but in the same stretch. That's where my mind went. So
In fact, if you're not good enough for the Blazing Battalion, you just get sent to another temple of another.
yeah, fair.
god, so it's okay, bye.
You're not good enough, Bay.
Yeah, all the men get sent to another temple at some point.
Fair.
So yeah.
I can see the recruiting process now. Must be fierce. Can't have penis.
I mean,
yada.
you can have a penis. It's just probably shouldn't be a man.
Yep.
Fair enough. So, but in any case, I would be interested in at least scoping out the job, because we might as well.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Do we have any idea where the secret meeting will take place, by the way?
Maybe in those mines.
I mean, we did hear about an abandoned temple today.
Mira did.
Exactly. No, we did.
Oh, was that you two? Ah.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, because we were asking about temples, and that was added to the list of temple options for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
High charisma checks and unlock bonus story points.
Woo. So we might want to keep our ear out for that.
And otherwise, well, the governor, let's call it like that, or at least the administrator would know for us where to find that. How shall we go about the talk itself?
I mean, with the governor, he just wants us to do something, right?
True. But do you want me to do the talk? Do you want anyone else to do the talk?
You are officially the leader, so I think you kind of have to.
True. I could delegate.
No, yes, I know that, but the main point is that there's, certain. If he wants a, how do I say that, is a contract or something similar, then he has to sign up with you, not with us.
That's true.
I mean, maybe Charm helps. Charm knows him already, right?
Yeah, I do have a bit of rapport with him.
Good.
So you two do the talking then.
And if we seem to forget anything that might
We'll
be
fill in, don't worry.
You'll definitely fill in. Good. I'm just gonna go have another mug of coffee because honestly, I don't know what they grind these beans with, but it's good machinery. So really gets the aroma out. And I'm gonna get another mug of coffee and enjoy that.
I motion at Mira I want another.
You're now a drink.
I like it. Another. Oh, that's patented. Never mind. Shit. Well, throw the entire episode away.
Reference. You can make references and parodies.
Oh, that's good. Good. So it's just how much do 2 mugs of coffee cost?
Are these one of your first 3 drinks here? Because then they're on the house.
Then they're still in the house for me. Yes.
Yeah, same. We both didn't drink anything from here, except for those coffees.
This is your last drink on the house, I'd say. You've had 2 coffees this morning. Reasonable, yes.
Works for me.
Grawl, you're through.
What'd you say?
You're through with your drinks.
So is that 3 drinks in general or 3 drinks a day?
3 drinks before you start to pay, in general.
Okay. I'm just going to have water anyway, because we're all still probably feel... No, wait. My hangover was cured. I will still just have water, though, because we are about to go on business.
All right. I just need to check something real fast.
And I don't need to eat or drink, so that's all good.
No, you do.
Not again.
Different character. Ha!
8 hours of sleep, bitch. Yeah, it's gonna,
that's rude.
Feel real different now.
Man.
I think... Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say something, but I
wonder if his new character is going to take the watches seriously.
Oh, look, pixies. I'm going to follow those and play with them.
Hey.
No!
This is just like the exchange kid that's new in class and everyone wants to be friends with them. All right. Where do you go?
Well, I would probably start heading toward Yoner's office.
Yeah, he did give you directions. I do remember. On the way there, you see in the distance Edgar on another street corner. Far in the distance, though, it would be out of your way to go and confront him. You also come across a town crier, which is basically a little construct on wheels, like a tiny, slow-moving little cart that's currently displaying a message, shouting a message. He's just Salvor Dila gone missing after failed experiment. New Dulcet Lyre show, all the rage, sold out.
Oh, good. What was the first one? Salvor
Dila, sorry.
I was like, what? Dealy?
Dila.
The melty clocks guy.
No. He has excellently straight clocks. Excuse you.
Okay.
And a new Dulcet Lyre show? Yes, interesting.
That's basically it. It's not much news. Wow. I mean, shortage continues. Official announcement expected soon.
Hey, Mira. You seen that guy on the street corner?
Hi.
200.
It's the dude who sold me that scroll. You want us to go see if we can get some more of those?
An almighty sneeze.
Sorry, indeed, that was a sneeze. Well, honestly, like, what did you say to him?
Oh, well. I insulted him, of course, and tried to get a scroll off of him somehow, which I succeeded in doing. And then one of those robo guards came over and broke it up.
What guards?
The constructs.
Oh, right, the constructs. Fair enough. Well, considering he's probably someone that needs to stand on, considering he needs to stand on corners, we'll probably meet him at some point. Let's just go to the meeting first, but keep it in mind.
All right. Eric.
All right. Takes you about 15 minutes, I'd say, to find Yoner's office, but you do. It's relatively central to Neverland, the district where all the things seem to be happening. It's in that big square you see on the far side from the wall, and it's a relatively nice-looking building. It looks slightly different in construction than all the other gnomish builds around it. It seems that there was more attention paid to homeliness and comfort rather than efficiency and to fit in with the style of the rest of the town. You have to pass through a street full of like artificers and construction sites and noise to get here. It seems relatively central to everything that Gnormandy has to offer. As you come to the door, it basically says Governor's Office, and you are greeted by a human butler-looking fellow at the door, who opens and says, good afternoon. What can I do for you?
We have a meeting with Yoner.
You have a meeting with the governor?
Yes.
All right. What is your name?
Charm Rochette. Maybe under the Greystars.
Ah, yes, the Greystars. I do remember now. It was somewhat unknown at what time you would be arriving, but it is good that you are here now. The master has just finished his lunch break for today, so you're welcome to come through, and I'll lead you straight up.
Okay.
If you would be so kind as to please drop your weapons off in the cloakroom, they will be well guarded. It's just a general safety measure.
I drop my cloak off in the cloakroom.
As well as any necessary spell components and focuses for harmful spells.
I reluctantly hand it over.
I will ask, in that case, is it a storage at our own expense if anything does go missing, or can we have the value, essayed and get a receipt for them?
That is not within my capabilities. If you're so afraid that it will get stolen, then I can assure you that all of the power of the guardship here will go towards retrieving the item for a while.
If it makes you feel any better,
you can always report it to the capital.
If it makes you feel any better, I could just send it over to Jasmine or Grawl.
What? We are also inside. Pretty sure.
Oh, you're also with us? I thought it was just us two.
Like we're all coming together. Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
We're doing the main talking, if that makes sense. All right, and I do take half the. I actually did I put the spell focus essentially on the staff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna hand over the staff. The rest of what I have on me are my necessary components only for herbalism. Nothing I can cast spells with.
What about the Staff of Power?
Oh yeah, no, I hand that over reluctantly.
This is normal in rich people's, normal in noble people's houses. You guys, I don't know what you're expecting. You're not gonna get a receipt every time. It's like, leave your guns and ammunition at the door, friends.
That's fine. I still have my ring. It's all good.
Yeah, your amulet probably wouldn't be seen as a spell focus unless you give it.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Right,
is
so
my spell
Groll and I
focus.
give up our weapons, I assume. That's like a mace, a crossbow, a rapier on my end.
Great axe.
That
A
amulet
great
is-
axe and a couple of other things on their end.
Actually, all things considered, that would mean that I would spend a very short while, like a minute tops, depositing 2 daggers, a light crossbow, a quarterstaff with an old spell focus on it, a lot of bolts, and the staff of power in the cloakroom.
Yeah.
I just watch as they unload this arsenal, and all I did was hand over an amulet.
Yeah, basically Mira reaching into her boots and pulling out 2 daggers.
Also a belaying pin from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, if you just want to put all your weapons in a haversack or a bag of holding and leave that there instead of having it lying all around, like, you can.
I'll do... no, I'm keeping my haversack.
Alright. Keeping my haversack.
I'm also keeping my bag of holding.
Alright.
I'll just say I'll put my shit in Jasmine's bag of holding, assuming she'll let me.
No,
She's
because
taking
I'm
very-
taking the bag of holding inside, so I'm not allowed.
Oh,
You're putting
never mind.
everything with everything else.
It's like taking a toy away from a child.
I've only been back for 5 seconds. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, you were asked to leave your weapons and ammunition and like things to use to cast harmful spells in the cloakroom.
Yep.
Yep.
Groll will do so.
All right. After that process, which takes about 5 to 7 minutes total of everyone like unloading and putting things on the floor, and the butler like trying to not have his face move in surprise at every item that comes forth further and further, and there's more, and there's more. Just like, all right, I shall bring you up then.
I definitely have my notebook and pen ready to write all of this down.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're brought upstairs. Girl, you kind of have to duck. You're a little tall for the staircase. Like, the staircase is not made for tall people. It's made for, like, normal people. And around, like, a staircase that takes a curve upwards to the upper floor. It's all relatively homely, the decoration, but there is definitely, like, expensive paintings, or what looks like expensive paintings, and nice carpets and nice tapestries, and you get brought to the end of the hallway there, to a nice wooden office door, as the butler knocks and then opens the door and says, "Sir, it's the Greystars for you." As you hear Yoner's voice, way more awake now than before ago. Send them in, please. Thank you, Jeffries. All butlers have names like Jeffries. And you are let in as the door opens for you.
Apparently they are.
Yeah.
Someone recently watched a lot of Netflix.
Yeah. No regrets. Please do sit. I think I have enough chairs, yes. Come in. Welcome. I've only met one of your members before. Miss Rochette, was it?
Yes.
Right. Well, do sit down. Excuse me that I'm a bit haggard. Anyway. I'm Yoner Rockwell. It's nice to meet you.
It's quite nice to meet you as well. We did understand from Charm that you two had conversed about a certain issue that has been going on,
Yes.
which is quite integral to your town. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, she let me know that
Actually, forgive our manners as well. And one more. Good. My name is Mira Amrun.
Nice
On
to meet you.
paper. Leader. Grawl.
Yeah, we're all
Jasmine.
Red Tusk.
Oh, all right. It's nice to meet you. Yes, Miss Rochette mentioned that she was part of a, or at least affiliated with a capable group of individuals that might be of help with some of the problems going on here, and well, that's why you're here.
Indeed, and well, we're all ears as to what this task entails and the details of it.
All right. So, I must ask of you some degree of secrecy. Are you members of the Genesis Guild under the Greystars banner?
Aye.
Then I must ask that the same conditions as to any potential quest in that regard apply to this meeting. If it would be of no bother, I have no interest in saying gnomish secrets to just anyone and taking the blame for it afterwards.
Naturally.
Right. Would you mind if I see your credentials for just a second?
No problem. And I showed him.
Yep. All right, thank you. I apologize. I've already got enough distrust from them as is. See, the problem is, we in Normandy, or I guess the inhabitants of Normandy, farm a very specific type of foxglove called the inverted foxglove. And in my limited, however it is, understanding, it is a prime component used in any and all building and permanent enchantments that have to do with making the space of something larger on the inside than it is on the outside. Now, not in your bag of holding capacity, that is planar magic, but more of the... I assume you've been to buildings in Onaris where the inside appeared much larger than the outside.
Aye, we have.
Inverted foxglove is apparently very integral to that enchantment. The problem with it is that it only blooms when in contact with a very specific and also rare form of iron, which is purple iron, which, as far as we know, is only found underneath this city, which is why the gnomes defended it so when areas were spread out after the war. And that circumstance is what's currently causing the problem, and you might have noticed the herbalists are closed, and most of the experimentation in Ground Null is also currently still. It's a very beautiful flower. It only grows below the surface, but yes. It's a problem, since it appears that the very small mine that we had to farm this purple iron has collapsed, and excavation efforts have been made, but as soon as one turns one's back, it seems the progress is immediately eliminated. We fear some kind of earth elementals on the way to reclaim territory, but no significant progress has been made since, of course, what you would know, earth elementals, if they have no interest in showing themselves, they can be hard to locate since they would just remain in the ground. So we are currently at a stalemate in a battle that we're not sure we're even fighting. It might also be an enchantment of some sort, or, well, by the time we get resources from the capital to potentially fix the problem, it might already be too late, and, well, the populace grown so unpleased or displeased that, well, not off with my head, but certainly the Roqueril seat in Normandy would be shaken more than it already is, and my father, I would assume, would be very displeased with that. So that is my issue, and publicly seeking for help would already be a danger to my position. But, well, Char mentioned that you could help.
Potentially. As I Understand. So there's these two situations that you are considering currently, and that it's some type of earth elemental that is reclaiming ground as a possible hypothesis, and the second one being an enchantment on the ground itself or by some other extraneous force.
Well, it could potentially be magic used to shape the stone back into its original collapse. At first, it just seemed like the mine had collapsed in a natural manner, as mines are sometimes, unfortunately, wont to do, which, given the correct tools and time, is reversible and salvageable. But every time we excavate a part of the collapse, it collapses again in exactly the same way. There seems to be some kind of sentience to it, at least.
And forgive me if this question is a little pandetic, but you're sure it's not just sort of a illusion, right? It has a physical form.
I mean, if you'd like to go and talk to the man who broke his leg when the rocks moved back into place, then I'm sure you could, but illusions usually don't have that type of effect.
True, which is
they're
why I thought I'd ask.
Powerful, in which case, well, I'm not sure even people coming from Onaris in the first place could do something. You see, here in Normandy, we're in kind of a precarious position that we're a little bit outside of the Empire, as the gnomish minds are fast and smart and incredibly hardworking, but they do not take to authority well, especially not from people outside of their own. And, well, their agreeance to work within the Empire as such gives them significant amounts of freedom, but also makes it very hard for me to request resources from the outside should anything go wrong. So, yes, I am currently unsure of what to do here. And if it is such powerful magic that even as an illusion it could break the bones of men, then, well, we'd have to find a new component.
Okay. So, obviously that there's someone behind this. Do you have any inkling to who that is?
Why is that obvious?
Well, if there's an intelligence behind the way that the cave is collapsing, then someone could be playing in it.
It could be elementals.
True.
That's the most likely thing, given how natural the stone moves every time.
Okay. If it were to come out that it is a person behind it, would you have any thoughts as to who it could be?
I wouldn't know. There are many people that you'd like to see me personally inconvenienced at the very least, but this circumstance has the entire city on hold as far as those particular enchantments are concerned, and it definitely does spill over into other areas of research as well. So I cannot imagine that anyone from here would do this on purpose, and anyone from the outside would either not have the knowledge or the interest to do this. We're not the only place in the world with these materials, but we're the only place to use them for research like this, and we do openly offer internships and scholarly positions and knowledge sharing. It's a kind of a public secret, I assume, but I don't think it's anything from that direction.
Then perhaps in a different vein, are there any type of subversive elements, or at least the appearances of anything that upsets public order, especially recently?
I mean, any city of significant size regularly has such things. Is there anything more specific you're looking for?
We were wondering if you'd heard of something called the Tricksters.
Not as a term. Gnomes themselves are tricksters and play a significant number of pranks, usually amongst their own. But the tricksters, no.
No, the reason I ask, and this is me showing a part of our hand, was a conversation I overheard, earlier in the morning between two, robed individuals, not gnomes, because otherwise they would have been talking in gnomish, as I would have expected. Speaking of some kind of plan that they were trying to enact in about 1.5 days. Well, then 2 days, but tomorrow evening or night. Which, it also spoke of the foxglove, of the enchantment shortage, and they seemed, worried about the presence of, the higher presence of any adventurer type from Onaris currently in the city, and whether they had significant connection to the Empire themselves. And if I may, without meaning to offend, almost verbatim, I heard one of them say, he's a dumbass and we should show him that.
I've definitely been called that before. That's doesn't bother me anymore. It's I mean, also in every respect, but your folk does stand out quite significantly here, especially when entering the town as a group, you can imagine. I heard there was also a significantly larger horse than most people here are used to. Word goes around, and, with your outfitting, as I spotted just at a glance this morning, one might assume you're from Onaris. That in itself would be enough to spread such rumors. They would be worried about that because, the rock royal position above the gnomes is contested, but very much important to the Empire. And it's more of a political matter than I am usually interested in. I was placed here as sort of a punishment from my father. But it's important that there be no rebellion or mutiny efforts that would significantly upset the relationship between this community and the Empire as a whole. So strong representatives of parts of the Empire, like the Genesis Guild being here, could perhaps put a prank or a trick or a public humiliation of me out of its context and cause too much damage, is how I would interpret that conversation.
Because they also said that, one of them, I'm not sure whether it was the woman or the man, was concerned about letting the experimentation continue, and I would assume that that would refer to the experimentation on Ground Null.
Oh, there's always experimentation on Ground Null. That's what it's for.
Exactly.
I have a question.
Yes.
In Carta?
Eric was a gnome, or not a gnome, was a halfling, right?
Edgar was a halfling.
He was a halfling. He may be involved in this a little bit. I feel like it would be worth interrogating him.
You just want to piss him off.
Your
Caskin is showing.
No. It may actually have a connection in my mind. The tricksters selling spell scrolls with miswritten runes. It's a halfling selling them, so it's detached from the gnomes. It's a loose. It may be something.
It may be something. Anyway, too. Yeah, is it in character or not?
I'd probably say that in character, probably, yeah.
Well, I don't know anything about Edgar, the other halfling selling spell scrolls, but to finish answering your question, there is currently, as far as I know, some new experimentation with black powder and small weapons that use it. I'm not sure of their name in Ground Null, and I think there is some form of public unrest about it, even in the gnomish communities. And the permits all were correct and every safety measure is being taken, but I am ultimately the one who approves such matters, so I could assume that someone is blaming me for it. There are mistakes and accidents, as with every experimentation, but, well, when it's made political, then such matters can get out of hand rather fast, especially in this community where it seems like everyone is watching my feet for a misstep and a reason to combat my measure of authority.
Very fair.
But you don't need to concern yourself with all these political problems. You checking out the mines and if there's anything you can do would be help enough, and you may be on your way. You don't need to wait for trouble to start tomorrow night if that's not in your interest. I'm sure you have important business elsewhere from the Empire.
Well, in any case, we give that information freely. One might consider, for reasons without meaning malice behind it, to keep a close watch on not just the experimentation sites and not put all your forces towards that place in particular, or whatever disturbance might happen, whether we're there or not. Let's first agree that we will check out these mines. Are, well, this is all said in confidence.
Well, of course not. I don't assume anyone would do anything with the experimentation site. That would be folly. There's chemicals there, there's magical components there. It's heavily closed off as is. I do not assume I need to put extra forces towards it, no.
All right. In terms of the current situation, as I understand, it is a delicate matter, also important for the integrity of the economy of the city. Something
If it's pay you're asking for, then yes, I can offer you a significant amount of coin. If you're looking for other types of reward, then perhaps we could give you a sample of the foxglove and the metal together, so you might make your own personal stock. Otherwise, help to get you on your way information. It's what you prefer. I'm willing to be quite flexible in this. You need not confine yourself to a sum of money. A combination of the above. Whatever.
Well, if I may have a short moment at a desk anywhere, I will compose something that will at least provide the above in accordance with all the laws and paperwork of the Empire, so we can make a deal of that.
I would prefer to discuss the matter of payment before a contract is signed, but you are welcome to use my desk. And he steps to the side and kind of walks to a brandy decanter he has on the side and pours himself a glass. Anyone?
No, thank you. But I would really like some permission to interrogate that man. Because here's my thinking. A typo in a magical scroll will render it useless. However, if someone purposefully changed it, it would read as something else. This scroll reads as a very well-known spell, meaning someone purposefully changed it to do so. Now, it could easily just be a prank, except it was written in Draconic, which people don't know.
Quite inaccessible language, yes, but I assume you mean Draconic arcane runes.
Yes.
So the common language of magic, yes? Not Draconic as in...
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Now, I asked if you know Draconic because that's how we did it with Jericho.
Well, I can read any language.
Yeah, but it's... magical runes and a language are two different things. The magical runes that write magic in the Empire are comprised of elements of Draconic, which is why those that are proficient with Draconic understand the gist of them.
Okay.
And since you are a caster as well, and you rolled a very high Arcana check, you were able to understand and analyze them, also because it's a cantrip.
So yeah, that would go nowhere. Never mind. I'll drop that.
But your conclusion is correct in that it would be pretty difficult to write a spell as such that it would appear as one spell and have the effects of another. That would be obvious if not done well.
Yeah.
Because you have to imagine wizards literally memorize the order and way these runes look on spell scrolls. So to be able to fool a wizard with that, you would have to do very well, and this was very well done.
Okay. So that could easily just be any random spellcaster who dedicates a lot of time to that.
If they did, yes.
Okay.
Probably some significant study involved and ill will if that is one spellcaster doing this. Because why?
Yeah. It's possible for that to be something, but I won't go after it if you guys don't.
The problem with giving you permission is that I am wont to be bureaucratically walled off of my own abilities, in that I, specifically with the guards and their programming, as we'll call it, I am always told it takes an arbitrary 2 to 3 business days to change non-urgent commands like this. And I assume you wouldn't want to wait. So you have my permission and protection in hindsight if you would like to try it, let's say, on the down low, because I cannot get it changed in time for it to be of any help to you. I can tell it to the physically present guards in the city, but the constructs are an entirely different matter.
Okay.
Well, it's something that perhaps, for all my love of making sure the deal's noted down well, is better not something that has an actual paper trail.
Oh
So
no,
I'll
it
leave
is in within my purview to give you that permission. It's just that should you be halted and or sadly arrested by one of these constructs, that I ask you to just demand to see the governor, which people can demand when they are arrested by something that is not of human sentience, as a safety mechanism. And I will then fix it. Just if you resist, it will get worse.
All right. Well,
Naturally.
on the other end, we could have a physical guard come with us to take him somewhere where the automatons won't mess with us.
I suppose that would be possible, but what you have right now is a lot of assumptions and a
Yes,
lot of
true.
suspicions. I invite you to bring him somewhere, or I can
Well, actually,
write
Governor,
you a letter.
you are correct in that we have suspicions, and it's mostly all circumstantial, because for now, as far as we can tell, these are two separate matters, though it is something that we should definitely take into account that might be connected. And if they are, we can go from there.
If
In
you,
terms of-
I just have to clarify. It's different if you get in trouble, in brackets, operating under my name, and then we can just say, oh, you were wrong in accosting this man in particular, but you were doing it in help of the governor. But if I send a guard with you, then I have to go through all the rules and regulations that come with putting someone under such official scrutiny. and I currently have to say I don't see enough evidence to do that. With all due respect, and I do think you might be onto something, but
I think all of us agree in that. Right.
I apologize for interrupting you, miss.
Let's focus on the first the task why we came here, in terms of a lump sum of what you would be able to offer for a useful and definitive solution to the problem that you're currently facing.
A useful and definitive solution without any significant loss of both the metal and the plant. I would be able to offer you right now around 2,000 gold pieces converted into whichever currency you need.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the highest I can go. I do not wish to negotiate much on the matter, since I do believe that your willingness to help and your openness so far deserves some kind of reward in itself. That is all I can offer for now for this, what looks so far to be a relatively short, contained thing. If it grows beyond that, then of course there's room for renegotiation. But...
And otherwise, perhaps a combination of gold and materials, or perhaps knowledge, to be later decided, but in terms of a relative equal worth to the aforementioned 2,000 gold pieces. I'll get the writing, and I'll just get one of the standard contracts out that I've probably put up by now. Fill in the names, fill in the possibilities and the different kind of like reward tiers.
I must state the paramount importance of preserving and saving as much of the plants and the metal both in its original state as possible. If that is lost, then we will take significant financial damages, and
judging by the amount,
less.
Yeah, judging by the amount of closed herbalism shops I passed by today,
yes,
I can understand.
As it is, I will have to defend the height of this reward to my father, but I'd rather that than to explain why I have been removed from office by someone who is not him.
Under the line, I would much rather spend the 2,000 than explain that to anyone. Thing is, I just go over the contract, let Charm read it for a moment. Like, yeah, that's all right, yeah. And just like sort of like low mumbling. Like, watermelon.
Watermelon.
All right.
Rhubarber.
Exactly. And I hand it over.
Wow.
Right. I assume you don't put anything finagly in there.
No.
It's
yeah. Report. It definitely
he
is.
reads over it. He fills in what he needs to, signs it, presses a wax seal onto it.
Right. And I hand him the one for his administration. To also do the same.
Yeah.
And I press this, and also presses our own seal on the first one.
Yeah, the like viewers, how much time we spend on this, like contracts, must make you realize how little people in D&D actually write down their agreements. Like, I'm a law student, I think about these things and how to abuse them if persons don't write it down, you know, and my players have learned early. I feel
true. And I mean, honestly, like, I never really had to learn, I guess, because of my backstory.
Yeah.
Because it was ingrained.
I am proud, and in future we will skim over it a little more, because well, as long as no one's doing anything finagly, then like it'll be understood.
Damn. I just want to ask if anybody else got hurt in the mines.
Is that an in-character question?
It is about to become one.
Okay. Response unclear.
Query.
Hey, since we've already agreed to take this on, besides the guy who broke his leg, anybody else get hurt down there? Have you sent anyone else in yet?
most of it has just been staff that already work in the mines that have gone to excavating the usual injuries, I guess, of bruises, scrapes, and some sprains, but no significant injuries, as far as I can tell.
All
There-
right, good to know.
There is, I've heard, an end to the collapse. Perhaps we could send some people down with you and quickly excavate some kind of passage to bring you to the other side. That might help. However, we would need to find a way to notify us to make a hole again to bring you back should you not be able to fix the problem.
Well, I can handle probably taking myself and one other person out of the mine. Does anyone else have Dimension Door?
Well, as a matter of fact, so that would at least work. Should we know exactly how far we need to go? So that's something that to keep in mind.
I mean, we've also got these. He's just going to hold up a sending stone.
True, but that's between us, and we could leave one, of course, but that's something that we'll mull it over. We'll pass by the tavern to make sure that to pick up all our stuff. If anyone left anything there.
Dimension Door is 300 feet, yes?
Dimension Door is probably... that's for getting out, not in.
Yeah.
Let me check.
It's an
Dimension
internal
Door
dimension.
is...
500 feet.
500 feet.
500
Okay.
feet. Why do I have all these numbers wrong all of a sudden? My brain just reset over Christmas. If it's 500 feet, then in most parts of the mines you should be good going 450 feet straight up. That should put you at a slight fall into a rooftop or a slightly bigger fall into the street, but at least it wouldn't put you inside any walls. And you look like hardy people who could survive a bit of a fall. If you need more specifics, I can see if I can arrange for blueprints, but it would be difficult to do in a short amount of time.
And otherwise, as long as we know how big the hole is that is excavated through, we could even put ourselves behind that when coming back, should we not find a solution. All right. Well, in that case, is it Lord Rookrill in this case as well?
You can call
Or
me.
sir.
I do not care for official titles.
And in that case, Yonar, it's a pleasure, and we hope to come back to you with a solution. And with an open mind and some outlook on a positive economy.
Yes. Well, thank you for your assistance. I shall look into these tricksters in the meantime, and if you just come back here after your findings, well, if you plan to go immediately, I'll probably make a late night out of it, so I'll tell Jeffries to just let you in.
One more thing. I have made a police report against this Edgar. So if you need any reason to bring him in for us, you got an opening right there.
Well, how many business days did they tell you?
They said I'll get a response in about 10.
Yeah, I assume it'll be the same for me until I get significant proof that report indeed does exist. It seems to be that most constructs in this town have been programmed to specifically piss me off. So,
Well, we'll just take care of it ourselves then, if anything.
I would
comes of it.
appreciate that as long as it is non-lethally and with minimal harm. I do have
That's
my
my specialty.
responsibility to the citizens of this town. Should it indeed be a person doing all this under the ground, then the same stipulation goes unless lethal is unavoidable.
Understood.
But you are adventurers and you are seasoned, and I assume you capable to make that judgment for yourselves.
Will be.
In that case, have a good afternoon. And where would we go to find the mine?
we'll mark it for you on a map. It basically takes out a map that looks much similar to this one, if a little more to the one we see on the screen, if a little more detailed and with more points of importance. The mine we're specifically talking about would lie slightly out of city bounds here, around here, like a little closer to the wall. There would be like an exit. Yeah, you would probably have to enter the underground area somewhere around here, and then he marks out the direction in the corridors you would have to take. But there will usually always be someone at the mine entrance who can confirm that for you.
Right. Do you have any type of official seal that we can take to show that we are on your business, or is that...
I can write you a note of passage on my paper with my seal. That should do. He kind of writes you a letter of basically free passage into the mines for official city business, basically.
Yeah, I figured it'd be better than like showing the guard the entire contract and like the gossip mill starting even worse. Like he offered them so much money. That's insane.
Yeah, it basically says for like exploratory and reparational purposes. Like,
nice. Okay. And we take that and we head off and we go to see if our stuff is still there. That's all gone. Fuck you. Ah.
Everything was stolen by the same pixie. No, just kidding. It's all still there.
Okay. Re-equip everything.
I can just reform my...
Do I find the extra sending stone that Caskin left in my room?
Have you been to your room?
I assumed that we were going back to the inn. Oh, wait, you said...
Not even outside yet, man.
Okay. When I heard, like, check if our stuff was there, I thought we were going back to where we were sleeping, not
Dude, the second you enter your room, you find it. But you are currently outside of the governor's mansion.
Yep. I have got that now. I was not around for a lot of the weapons check part.
Dawned and dusted, all your stuff is here. If you were to count everything, it would still be the same amount of things.
Cool.
And you're friendlily, in a friendly way, escorted outside by Jeffries.
I just, can I do an insight check to see if Jeffries is expecting any type of tip? Because I just want to see if that's a normal thing to do in this town.
You don't have to do an insight check for the fact that he does seem to be, but that might not be a town custom and more of a halfling noble family person custom. Like, there seem to be like little elements of the rest of the empire in this town, but the town itself is kind of like as if it's copy pasted from a different culture.
Right. Would I have any knowledge of what like a regular kind of tip for that kind of thing would be?
For a noble
like
servant, probably something around a silver. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
kind of the happy medium. If you're feeling particularly expensive, like an electrum, probably.
I don't carry that shit.
Use electrum?
It's weak money.
$2
bills. An electrum.
$2 bills. Gosh. So that means that 2.5 silver is $1. That's good to know. Now I place 2 silver coins in his hand with a handshake. Thank you so very much, and have a good day.
Thank you. You have a good day as well too. Safe journeys. Safe journeys. I'm still in my halfling voice with an ever dwindling British accent because that's what his father told him, and he doesn't care. Details.
All right.
Do you immediately go to the mines?
I would vote for that.
Well, get the stuff from
do
the
you have to
tavern
get
and
a
then go to the
tavern?
mines.
Yeah, do we know it's there?
Yep. I don't know. Did anyone leave anything in the rooms by any chance? Son of a bitch. Okay.
I was a drunk idiot last night. I don't know what's in there.
No, I want to get coffee. Fair enough. A horse. What
No
the fuck?
pigeons in the sky today, friends. No pigeons.
The point is
if
that,
there were,
like
I
we
could
said
pop
that, we said that Grawl put away his his weapons there, but he probably didn't even have them because he went out to party last night.
Oh no,
with all of his gear.
yeah. Growl's the kind of
All
person
right.
to do that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave my axe to go party.
He's done
Somebody
it
might try to
before.
kill me.
Yeah.
Because of the axe.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, it has a certain appeal. You know, buff dude, big weapons, probably fake, right? Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So these gnome miners.
We
Are
move.
there any dwarves mining?
You go to the mines?
I would.
Okay.
We go to the mines. Yes.
That's where we'll take a break.
All right.
Because it's
Yes.
time. after a quick little break and some changing of the calendar. We are migrating to World Anvil soon so that you, person watching, which is hopefully not just ourselves, can follow the lore writing and the campaign building, and if you want to, look up definitions and things that might be, hard to understand, or names and spellings and all the things. So that's what we were doing in the break. What were you doing in the break? I'll wait. No, just kidding. We are going to move on to the Greystars, who are currently entering the mines of Gnormandy. You do encounter, I'd say, 2 gnomish guards this time, in different dress than the Gilded Watch members, basically, with a slightly different uniform, but still recognizable as basically Gilded Watch that you've seen throughout the city so far. This seems to be more akin to mine business, as they are gnomes and they are wearing significantly different uniforms, darker uniforms, than the golden gleaming shine of the constructs and the dwarves and elves and human guards that you had seen throughout the city so far, and all other cities. They do not say anything as you approach, just kind of look at you apprehensively. It's probably 2 middle-aged men of a little bit of a stronger gnomish build, wielding weapons quite openly. Well, they have weapons on their person quite openly.
Like, before we get too close, I'm just gonna, whisper, perhaps Jasmine or Charm, perhaps you could do the talking, considering they seem to be, more than amenable to people who speak their language.
It's probably a good
Jasmine?
call. Yeah.
I assume that we're
Yes.
accompanied by a hand motion forward.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Then I'm gonna hand
Alright.
the seal of passage to you.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, gotta walk forward.
All right. Kind of look up at you.
Cool. I will talk to them in Gnomish. We were sent here by the governor.
The governor? Why?
Because he wants us to see if we can do something, help with all the troubles that have been around here.
Well, miss, with all due respect, and you do speak our language, so you're probably not one of those Nimrods, but do you have any documentation that could prove that?
I hold the documents in front of him, obviously.
Right. He looks at it more like you could have read it 3 times in the time that he stares at it, flips it over, turns it upside down, looks at the seal.
Licks at the seal?
No, looks at the seal. It's almost comical, but you keep your grin a little to yourself as he says, looks to be all in order, miss. You head onwards then, and watch your head. We've had a little bit of case of falling rock recently.
Thanks for the warning.
Do you have any hard hats?
What's that?
Right. Grabbing Chom once again by the hand.
Your adventurers,
3rd
right?
time today.
You have your own helmets.
I do not have a helmet.
I don't really wear them.
Probably
don't
mess with your
understand
hair and
that,
your
bro.
horns, miss.
We have
Yep,
no idea they're
never
talking
mind.
Gnomish.
We'll probably mess up your hair and your horns, miss.
All right, then. And you could definitely understand me. I don't know Gnomish. That was Kaskin.
Really?
Huh?
You said you talked Gnomish to the 3 people. Oh, that was Kafkin.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're right.
Oh,
That's
well,
it.
oh. New perception.
Huh. Well, imagine that. Well, retcon that.
Well, you did hear them. And you say, Grawl?
He doesn't remember.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, the helmet thing. I don't really wear one. I have this weird sense of deja vu saying this for some reason.
Fair enough.
Well, your risk. Good luck.
Do my horns give me any protection from falling rocks?
Maybe. I know. I suppose you were smart enough to supply your own torches.
We don't need them. We can all see in the dark.
Looks at the human-looking woman.
The human produces goggles from her bag.
And if all else fails, I do have some torches with me.
Well, best of luck then on whatever exploring business you got going.
Thank you very much.
And we waltz through, I guess.
I'll give a little push to the plate. Come on, let's go.
So, descend into what is essentially darkness, but all of you now have
For
Now
real.
officially.
and you indeed do see, not as normal, of course, it is colorless and it's still shady, but you do make your way a significant amount of the way forward. You follow Yoner's instructions, having not confirmed them with the guards outside, but you think you'll be fine. It's a little bit of a maze construction, but there are markers, and there do seem to be like a lettering and a numbering system going on. Using the Dwarvish script, since Gnomish is a Dwarvish under language, so Jasmine would definitely just understand it. Gnomish uses Dwarvish script.
As do I.
Yes. Well, you would. Yes, yeah, the alphabet definitely. As you
I understand both.
Yeah, great, awesome. Kind of memorizing your path as you go. It's about a 15-minute walk underground before you meet your first person's people. And in that case, it's just two deep gnomes with just bags on their back that kind of like cross the T section you're walking in the other direction at, kind of paying you very little heed besides like glances your way with like, that's a curious group of people, and then just move on and nodding their heads your way before moving on. And you start to see more and more deep gnomes here and there. You seem to cross some common passageways for them before you get to a section that is well lit here. The corridors start to be more well lit. You can see this section is more recently excavated than others. Others were hewn into the stone probably years and years and years ago. This seems a little more recent. You can tell by the metal that's holding up the walls that's not as worn, and by the torches, the sconces that seem relatively clean and not burned out by several thousands of torches. And there are also a couple people milling around, like two guards in Gilded Watch uniforms, two dwarves in this case, currently standing relatively easy guard, not really paying anyone any attention, just there just in case something happens probably. And behind them, a mix of gnomes and deep gnomes currently standing over blueprints, over tools, over broken tools. You can see a man in a corner sitting on a haphazard bedroll, kind of like clutching a bleeding knee that is currently being tended to by one of his companions. And in the distance, kind of around the corner, you do see what looks to be like the front part of a mine collapse. If you turned the corner, you would be able to see it fully. There currently seems to be no excavation efforts going on. From what you can tell in the situation, they just tried and failed again. From the general murmurs that you catch here and there. As you approach closer, the guards straighten their backs. You kind of already hold up the scroll preemptively to show, and they don't pull any weapons or seem suspicious. And the entire crowd of working gnomes stops, turns around.
Oh, dear God.
Do they do it in unison?
No, that would be creepy.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Howdy.
Virus. Zombie virus. One of the two dwarves, a female now, as you can tell, not by the beard, but more the eyes, steps forward and says, hello there. You here on official business?
Yeah, we're sent here to investigate the mines. I understand that there's been some recent cave-ins from some unknown source. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, there has been. Quite strange, the matter. I assume you have a scroll from the governor?
Jasmine.
We do, Jasmine.
Yeah, that there scroll, yes. Well, that checks out. Well, you look to be capable folk if you want to go and check it out. I think we're supposed to make you a hole forward and lead you through.
If you would be so kind.
All right, well, that would be our workers over here. You can probably ask, what's his name again? I have to look it up in my notes.
It's not Terrence, is it?
It's not Terrence, no. Oh, man. I'm a great DM, I swear. I have names for people. Probably have to ask Otto over there. He's kind of the leader of our current excavation efforts. He's been here from the start. He knows the most about all the goings on, although it's much the same every time. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, points to one of the deep gnomes that is currently bending over like blueprints with a group kind of looking at him to guidance, it seems.
Well, we'll walk towards it, I guess.
All right.
Yes.
Tip my hat to the dwarf.
Yeah, tips his helmet back. Like, gives a little salute.
Oh, by the way, y'all don't have any extra helmets lying around, do you?
That was to you, Emma.
Yes.
Yeah, not to us.
Who's he asking? Who is it? What?
The person we were just talking to. Hey, do you have any helmets?
Well, you'll in my timeline you'd already left, and I was just like, "What? Who are you talking to? Are you yelling at the gnomes?" All right. No, miss. I'm sorry. We just have our service uniforms, and we pay if we lose it. So.
I feel like a helmet would help me out, but thank you anyway.
Why?
Cave-ins, falling rocks.
Oh well, if it's the falling rock thing the guards at the door told you, then I can only say that gnomes love to prank people, and that's it's not that much of a problem here.
All right then.
At least not before the collapse.
Fair enough. But Otto, then, everyone,
Otto.
let's
go to Otto.
Let's move.
Okay, you walk up to the gnome, and he kind of like stands up, kind of like annoyedly from his work. Looks at you.
So, it was our understanding that you'd be able to dig us a tunnel here.
What for?
Check out the mine, clear it, make sure there's no magical happenings around.
Right.
To introduce ourselves.
You're thinking you can fix the problem, is that it?
Yes.
That's our hope. Aye.
We can at least attempt it. I answer in Gnomish once again because these fuckers forgot the entire plan that we had. Specifically, the one known as Noob, not you, Nob.
I know.
I've been good.
You have.
Also true.
I'm Otto. It's nice to make your acquaintance.
I'm Jasmine.
I must
And-
introduce myself as Caskin.
And we're gonna at least try to do something with our hope. We can at least attempt it, see what happens.
Try to do something and mess things up more than they were before is what you can do.
I'm not sure things could get much worse, sir.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Well, if you're here with the magic-y stuff, that might help.
Exactly. So we'll...
My personal forte, but
Understandable, but... We
Do
have
be
some people who are very good with it.
well, if anything happens in the inverse foxglove room, I suggest you take care with your magic-y stuff. It gets kind of fucky from what I hear.
I have
Well
to ask, this is all being said in Gnomish, because otherwise I'll just be
No.
standing. Okay,
No.
cool.
Okay.
Good to know.
I would have believed it's all gnomish up until fucky, and then it just goes back to
Yeah.
gnomish.
Sure, that's what you want to believe. Head down.
Well, we'll definitely take that into account. Is your workforce currently up and ready and able to help us, sir?
Well, Seidel there isn't, but he'll be fine. Scraped his knee. Terrible injury, you can imagine. And otherwise, most of them are fine. I was just about to send in the day shift to go to sleep for the night, but we can make you one more tunnel.
Well, shit, it's 8 o'clock suddenly? What the hell?
No. I can only adjust by 4 time phases in the day. It's probably around 5 or
Oh.
6 by now.
Okay. Oh, man. I was like, what the hell? What did I eat?
The sunset around 6, so.
Right, okay.
Do you want any help with the digging?
With all due respect, sir, I think we'd rather prefer some delicacy over brute force in this matter. Otherwise, we'd be brought in the badgers.
Of course, as you do.
You never mind before, I see.
I don't think I've ever mined before.
Wouldn't think so. That'd be honest work. And he kind of turns around and says, you there. No, don't come whining to me now. No, this isn't Gnomish. One more. You can hear kind of a collective of like, but it hasn't worked the previous 26 times today, blah, blah, blah. And kind of like a moaning back and forth. At a certain point, Otto kind of like slams his fist on the table and says, and now you're all shutting up and taking your pay to your families after you dig me one last tunnel, and then you come back tomorrow with a smile on your feckin' faces. Otherwise, you're out of a job. Am I understood?
Yes,
Everyone
sir.
immediately kind of shuts up. Yes, sir. You don't understand Gnomish.
I understood the tone.
As like people kind of like fine, go dig their 27th tunnel for the day. It's been a back and forth. One of them kind of goes like, I suppose it has to be tall enough for the tallest one. I swear. Of course it has to be. I want to make him crawl.
Please
I
do.
mean, I can crawl. It's
No
not
mesh.
that big
You
a deal.
can't understand this.
I don't know, we keep switching back and forth.
No, this is, you can assume it's all gnomish. He kind of looks over. You can see him look over Grawl and back. Nah, look to be Empire folk. Don't make them crawl. They'll make us do far worse.
I mean, Jasmine could, like, intersect in that.
Jasmine, just make him crawl.
Seriously, I feel bad now. I mean,
I'm just looking at these people and wondering what the fuck happened in this town, and that's it.
the average gnome is like 2 feet
Gnomish
tall.
community at large. There is a reason they're not spread out throughout the Empire. It's just basically Zaratania light. That's a Senti campaign joke.
But you could make them feel better. It's like, we can duck.
Yeah, make it tall, make it a little less wide. They'll be fine. Right, this is back in common. Should be done in about 15 minutes. It's not a long business, but, well, you'll want to be ready at the door once we make the, final bit, and we'll just, shoo you through. Do you need any light?
No, I think we're good.
In case of an emergency, are you prepared to be on your own without extra food and water for a few days? Do you have enough supplies?
I believe we're
Aye.
good.
And we
Alright.
have means of getting out if the need arises.
Are those magical means?
Aye. And we won't do it in the Foxglove areas because it will get a bit fucky.
Precisely. Good
Saying
listeners, I appreciate that.
saying it without irony.
I don't know how, I can't explain it
that was
myself.
off character,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Yeah. I don't know, I can't explain it myself, but yeah, I've just heard, and I figured with all your fancy sticks and baubles, you'd want to know.
Well, sir, we are indebted to you for the warning beforehand. Thank you.
Yeah, well, best of luck. I'd be pretty grateful if you can fix all this business, but we've been trying for days, so excuse me my cynicism.
Aye. And may I ask, while we're waiting, did it only start happening after you've passed beyond this point and it never happened before? Or had you passed beyond this point way ahead and it suddenly started?
Now this is our usual mining corridor for both the iron and the foxglove. So this is recent, yes. We weren't excavating. I think there were plans about excavating somewhat further into the iron mines, but we've been really very resource saving on it, and we haven't needed to dig a deeper mine for a couple years now.
Aye.
Plans were on the table, but no efforts had been made yet. I think maybe measurements. But, well, perhaps that's what set them off.
And whatever
This is not my section usually.
and whatever side tunnels, perhaps perpendicular to this one that you dig towards, even if it veers off a bit, do those collapse at all?
We don't do strip mining around this here part. It's specifically reserved, and this entire area is specifically reserved for potential further flour making and iron mining. But I suppose we haven't tried. We didn't want to piss whatever it is off. But as I said, I don't know much about this section. It's not usually my section. I just got flown in because it seemed like a problem, and I do problems.
Aye. And the usual supervisor, is he okay?
Oh, there's not usually a mining supervisor here. We don't usually mine.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all the questions that I currently have. Thank you for the information.
The flour tenders and the iron pickers, those have all been sent home until the matter gets resolved. I think most of them also have some of the herbalists' offices, but yeah.
Right. These are good things to overthink. Thank you.
All right, you be careful now, and be prepared for some rocks flying at you. That's what most people seem to think it is. So.
Hi.
You seem like relatively good people for, land folk, so.
We'll take that compliment in the spirit in which it is given. Thank you.
What do you mean by land folk?
It means
Not underground.
that lives underground.
Hey, underground is still the land.
Oh, you sweet
Who
son
are
of a
you to judge his terminology?
I don't know, this is probably why they don't like outsiders.
Yes. Probably.
I mean, they've called you Nimrods multiple times without complaint, so you're probably fine.
We didn't know.
All right.
No, you heard. As you wait for the excavation, there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of tools and ding, tink, as you can hear kind of basically the mumbling and the people not being happy about having to do the same thing in the same section, which is just going to collapse again in 15 minutes. Just you wait. That's basically what they're doing. This time they try to kind of like put reinforcements in as they go so that you can walk through it. Yes?
While it's all going on, and also as in for the coming while, and as we pass and after we pass, especially like when it's down to like caving in again, I want to like keep my ears like close to the wall to see if I can like pick up anything that would remind me of Terran elemental speech.
Yes, I will also
through the rocks.
I will also have detect thoughts up to see if I can find any creature within 30 feet of me.
Roll a perception check, the both of you.
Okay. Or it's blind. Shit.
Technically, it doesn't need a perception.
Walls. Does it work through walls?
Yes.
Of which thickness?
Like 2 feet of stone.
It's not a lot of stone.
That's not, but it's enough to find something, maybe.
If it were on the surface, yes.
Yes.
It's not Charmy, you don't necessarily hear anything yet. It's not until the end of the excavation efforts, as you can see, like this little tunnel. It's basically through 10 feet of stone that has collapsed, and they're kind of like, it's basically big rocks and smaller rocks, and they're kind of like putting up like holsters in the ceiling instead of like making a clear tunnel and securing it all, because they basically know it's going to collapse again. So they're just making a temporary tunnel in this particular area of it. The corridor is probably around 10 feet wide. The ceiling, I'd say, around 15 foot high, and they're just making like a U-sized passageway to get through it. Kind of like leaning back against the wall, kind of keeping your ear to it. It's not until the very end of like their efforts, right around when you can start kind of like seeing a way through the stone, that you do hear some like mumbling, maybe, but it's not clearly formed Terran words. It's more of like movement of stone where there shouldn't be movement of stone. And it's very quick that you're basically like lined up, slowest person first, fastest person last, and basically a volunteer is chosen to be the last one to like mine out the last bit of the corridor, because that's how the dude broke his leg the last time. So but they've been doing this multiple times per day, so they seem to have like kind of a rotating system of who is last in the corridor going. But since you'll be cutting off his escape route, it's it's not fun for him. Kind of like usher your way towards the very edge, kind of like all the way into the tunnel, as like the last bit of tunnel is cut away, and you're just instantly like yoinked through, basically, made to run through, and you can just barely see like it's starting to cave inwardly again as you hear the again. And this is Charm when you would feel presences, tons of little presences inside of that collapsed rock formation. Kind of like close it up again, as you don't know whether the person on the other side made it through or made it back or not. Maybe. But you're currently standing in pitch black, and I in fact do have a map for this.
I will actually, for like regular light purposes, I will light a torch.
All right. Map is going to take a while, but I can describe. There is a little bit of light coming from like behind you, where it spills a little bit from the well-lit corridor that you were in previously. It's not like an airtight collapse in any regard, but in front of you lies basically pitch black darkness, and with your 60 feet of dark vision, you can make out that there is a corridor in front of you that kind of splits off. One goes forward and seems to be ultimately leading into a larger chamber. The other one you can only see until the bend basically goes to your right, and then it bends, and you don't see where exactly it goes from there.
But isn't it that we, like, the dark vision, isn't it like a 30-30 deal? Is that if we're in pitch darkness, we see 30 feet dim and the rest nothing? So we only see 30 feet with just the dark vision, right?
Well, I see 60 feet dark
Yeah,
vision.
you see 60 feet dark vision means you see dim in 60 feet and then nothing. And if it were dim light, then you would like, for the first area you see kind of as if it were bright light, and then it starts getting like dim as the light disappears.
Right.
There seems to be a random door in the middle of this that someone landed here. Gonna make that light source a little smaller.
I'm not seeing the new map yet.
I know,
It
because
has not been pulled up.
not there yet.
Never mind.
Sorry, that sounded annoyed. I'm not, in fact, annoyed. Let's make me not put Charmin to a wall there. Who's in the front? Who's in the back? You can walk side by side if you want.
Third.
Okay.
I'll take the front.
Right. I was gonna say I'm gonna be next to...
I'll be fourth.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I'm next to Mira, but sure. Everybody...
I thought we were in a line.
Everybody else said a line, so now I have to be in a line.
Well, you can kind of be like this. I'll put you like this.
You could do like a diamond formation, have two people in the middle.
You're technically not third anymore, Charm, but...
Well, it depends if it's a second shared second place, you can have a third
I guess.
or a fourth.
I guess we can do it like this.
Ooh, nice mines.
Oh, it's dark. It's not dark. I forgot to turn dark on.
It's not dark.
I haven't seen anything yet because we are very...
Everything.
Yeah, and Fog of War is off.
Global illumination is on.
Okay.
Shouldn't. God.
This isn't your regular everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness.
There we go.
Hey. Oh, let's go. Oh man, DMing is hard. There. Now you shouldn't be able to see anything anymore, even if you walk the right way. There. It's a small map. It doesn't really matter that much. But, yeah, that is what you see.
Okay. Well, boys.
The presences you sense with the detect thoughts, I'm not sure how long it exactly lasts.
I can cast it at will.
Okay. They recede as quickly as they came and out of range of... You assume the 2 feet of stone is what does it in that case.
Okay.
Wait, do they have an intelligence of 3 or more?
Elementals generally do, yes.
Should I have looked that up? Probably.
I mean, that's part of detect thoughts.
No.
Yeah, basic elementals have a language, so they have to have an intelligence of 3 or more.
Look, I don't look up your spells as you use them. I just trust you to use them correctly. There we go.
But we don't know what we're facing, so that's a bit...
Oh! These ones did not, in fact. Nope.
Woohoo, devil's advocate. Glad to help.
Well, I mean, no one said they were elementals in the first place, but you did hear... I mean, Mira already heard them moving, so... That doesn't change too much about the fact that you know something's there.
Ah, light.
Yeah, it's a torch. Aha.
Wow. All right.
So everyone, I'm
Sounds
fairly certain I heard something in the walls that wasn't a natural kind of movement. If there is anything there, I do agree with the original statement. See if we can resolve whatever is happening, rather than, like, in a peaceful manner, rather than having to resort to anything else. Because if this is somewhat of a natural habitat for whatever is here, it is not up to us to, well, remove it for any type of sentient gains.
right, here's what I'm thinking. The entirety of the tunnel isn't collapsed, so I don't imagine that it was just elementals working alone. Otherwise, why leave it open in the first place?
Perhaps. In any case, I'm able to talk to them. If they are just elementals.
Same.
Good. Then at least we have... Well, let's hope it shows some semblance of goodwill on our part. If there's any instructions that are given, we'll just do our best to follow them. So, how about Charm and I lead carefully? We might seem less imposing.
Sounds like a good idea. Grow and I will be behind.
Go right
Yep.
ahead. I should tell you once you get somewhere, but I am currently not on the screen because I have to look up a concentration thingy.
Oh, wait for a moment.
Okay, yeah. All right. Charm 30 feet, you said, right?
Yes.
Jackson. Well, you currently have like a living things beacon in your head, so I have to keep watch of that. Yeah. All right. As you start moving forward, you do see that the corridor probably wraps around. The corridor that was to your right probably wraps around to your side, into like a round hallway, which presumably, as you can kind of see old signs that are broken down, leads to the iron. Oh, it would be the flower room to your right. To your front would be the iron room. And as your torchlight kind of starts reflecting off the edges, you can in fact see like little purplescent, stop moving please, as I described, pieces of iron, purplish pieces of iron in the stone, like little bits left behind during the mining, but also larger pieces that look to have been carved like tiny piece by tiny piece by tiny piece every time very carefully. Up ahead you can see relatively large chamber, but not too huge, hewn out, and everywhere your light reflects on the side is basically a little area of that little bit of stone. Not enough to gain you any light or vision in itself, but plenty to recognize it as a purple iron mining room. There is a significant sense of chill to the air, whether that's natural conditions or magical, you're not sure. Keep moving up ahead.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm once we're at a bit of like the edge of it, I will switch to Terran.
Right.
And say, we understand we might be intruding upon your grounds, your caves, your systems. We are here to talk, not for aggression, and to see if we can resolve whatever is going on. If it is something between your people and the people on the surface.
Charm, stop right there, please. You detect a presence underneath the stone here.
All right, I'm gonna reach out and say, "Hey, what's going on? We're here investigating some stuff. We don't really want to hurt you. We just want a few answers."
You say this in
Telepathy.
Is that language agnostic?
That language is any language.
Oh,
They literally just have to speak one language to understand it.
Uh-huh.
And I can understand them back.
Okay. Who are you?
We're
Why are
a
you a
group.
voice in my head?
That's the only way I've seen that I can talk to anyone right now.
Kind of like, I can't obviously voice act it, but it kind of sounds like instead of like a deep stone grinding onto stone gravelly voice, it kind of sounds like little pieces of gravel like moving against each other in your head. It's a very strange sensation, but you do relate it to that. It does sound like a higher kind of voice in as much as you can relate it to humanoid voices. But you were saying, sorry.
We're working with the gnomes, and we're just trying to figure out what's going on here.
Oh, no, not the small ones.
You know, we're not really that close to them. I could take them or leave them. We're just trying to figure things out.
You kind of see the ground shake a little bit, where it must be like right under the ground for you to be able to sense it. Ask Master. I don't know.
Where might we find him?
Why, in the stone, of course.
All right, this is speaking. Hey, can anyone talk to rocks here?
Well, yes, we've had this conversation just before. Where am I going to speak to?
Yeah, Charles has been standing in silence for a bit.
I'm talking to someone real quick. And I go back into the telepathy.
Okay, could you ask them if they want me to keep the light on or off first?
Would you like the light on or off?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you said that he's in the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Is he in all of it around us, or is he in a specific point?
I don't want to talk to you anymore. You have to ask Master.
Right, I'm trying to. I'm just wondering if you can point us in the right direction.
Roll a persuasion check.
All right, persuasion. Not good.
You can feel it kind of move away out of your range. It was only barely in your range as it was, and it kind of moves out of it. And you can hear some, like, the others can hear this too, some like general shifting of like pieces of rock basically underneath your feet. Like deeper grinds and lighter grinds, like as the ground itself starts to like move, but not on the surface, underneath the surface. And yes,
I want to just like carefully like lay the torch on the side and take a step forward, just sit on my knees, lay my hands on the ground. Whoever you are, and in Terran, like whoever you are, we are not here to be dangerous to anyone. We're only here to talk, so if anyone can talk for all of you, please talk to us. But with a gravelly voice.
I'm also going to start looking through the rocks. This does not have the 2-foot blockage.
All right. I don't. How often can you use that in a day, or is that always?
It doesn't say a limit.
I was gonna say I'll save us the effort of having to go back and forth through that. You would see something, but a little bit after Mira's request, you see a leg step forward from the stone against the back wall. Should be around here, vaguely. Oh! I have you all selected. No, don't move, everyone. Move everyone into the right place for a second. As a humanoid figure steps forward out of the stone, and you're not certain if it's a reply in Terran, but definitely speaks back to you in Terran and says, "What brings you here, Earth Speaker?"
Mira, that's your cue.
We were employed to find out the reason behind the cave-ins of the hallway, but a few feet back. And we're wondering if there's anything that happened, any reason to it, and if we might be able to resolve whatever brought it on.
This is the Earth's domain. It was going to be intruded upon further to mine its riches. I am simply helping the Earth reclaim its rights.
I can see what that would not be something that you wished for. I understand that you wish not for this to happen, for any more intrusions upon your soil to take place. What I will ask, is there any way or any kind of agreement that might be made? Some places that are truly off limits, anything that the walkers above would have to steer away from, and places that are allowed to be in, because these things can be planned.
You use many words. I have told you why we are here. It is the Earth that called me, and it is the Earth I assist. I make no deals with intruders. The Earth knows no compromise, nor mercy. It simply is as it is.
So what's going on, Mira?
Yeah, you basically like back and forth.
Hey, Jasmine, is it me or did those rumbles sound a little bit angrier than the other ones?
Might have been. I can't tell.
I'm gonna
I can understand you.
Well,
He says
that
in
might make it much easier. I am in agreement with you that the Earth is its own domain and it should be respected. If the Earth called you, it had a wish. But even then, the Earth is not only of one direct mind. It is as complex as us. We're only looking for a way that would limit intrusion. Because we are only here to investigate, perhaps help to provide something that will allow those above to still live here and live fruitful lives. Those that spring from the earth as well.
He goes back to Tavern and says, and why should we move? We who are unmovable, for those who seek to explain to us how the earth works. Right, my children. And you can feel some, little shuddering movements underneath. So you hear a agreeing chatter of smaller voices.
I nod. I spoke out of turn. I do not ask you to move. I would never. I ask one thing. What allowances and where would the earth make if it's not here?
The intruders seek only the riches. They won't take a deal that does not give them such. And we will not move to give them such. We are at an impasse in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And you who understand so little of the earth. And probably little of the community. Stand between that.
Aye. A difficult position, if ever. Because now I have two sides to worry about. On the one hand, there is this community, and I am not willing to instigate a war or any type of conflict. But they will be in some regards. And I would rather steer their focus away from that.
There is
And
no
find
war.
some way.
We are not mud that thrives in the addition of water and becomes malleable and soft to those who seek to control. We are strong, we are rock, and we are unmovable. Am I right, my children? I feel like little clatters of stone again, now a little closer to the surface.
Is this now in Terran or is this in common? Because
In Terran.
okay, cool. Because then I can't intrude in this entire conversation with people will die if you do this. But well,
Well, you could sense that you're getting nowhere, and people have been almost dying, so I would allow it.
I will relay one or two. I will relay like the summary of what have it in common.
right. But being unmovable doesn't mean is not fully related to what we're asking. We're not asking you to move. We're asking you to work together. You haven't moved.
I do not wish to
Then.
work together with those that steal what is ours.
And a deal where they would give back is also not an option then? This is an unmovable... We don't know, because you're only telling us that you don't want to move.
I mean, rocks are good at sitting still, right? Couldn't they just let
Bro?
them come in and not doing anything?
One
No.
of you roll an insight check, the other roll a persuasion check. We'll do it like that. I don't want one person to do them both or something like that.
I can't
don't
roll
know.
either then.
No, you haven't been talking.
Okay.
You could have been paying attention.
Did you want me to do something, by the way? Or was it
I was asking, like, who of us...
One of you two roll persuasion and one of you two roll insight, basically. Sorry.
Okay, but who?
Yeah,
No, I mean, which two people are you talking to?
me and Grawl, I think.
No,
Or not?
Mira and Jasmine, the two people who've been
Oh,
talking.
okay, I thought Grawl was talking, so I was like, okay.
No.
Grawl needs to
I don't
roll.
think I have a lot to contribute to this unless we want to start hitting them.
Yeah.
I'll do persuasion.
Cool, then I'll do insight.
Come on, big money, no whammies. Oh Jesus Christ!
Jesus!
I can't like I can't like call upon my god or anything. Like this is like the kind of fulcrum thing. I have no idea.
Jasmine.
Every fucking time.
Well, that's what the insight check was for, my children.
Except that I can't see that.
Yeah, I know, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I would hope so. I have the skills.
There is like this dude is posturing. You know warfare more than anyone else in this party. And you know the way someone speaks if they have a significant army behind them. This dude does not have a significant army behind him. This dude is posturing, and this dude is definitely not one with the stone, or whatever he's trying to pretend to be. You don't need to understand Terran. In fact, it might be better for your insight check that you don't, because you didn't hear everything he said. Instead, you basically look at his body language and the things he's saying, and like every time he keeps calling on the earth to respond or something, but like it's little movements. And from what you heard before, there was little baby voices comparatively to the large imposing earth elementals you know exist. You had a really good insight check, and this is not a war of the earth against this community. This is probably
This guy.
this guy.
Okay.
I'd like to.
Right.
Oh, sorry. ahead.
I was wondering, the earth called you here or something like that, I believe?
They did.
That's what you said? Right. When exactly?
But a few days ago, when plans of expansion were made.
A few days ago. About when this all went down then, I suppose? So this is all you're doing? Nothing happened before this? Who exactly called you here?
I've been part of the earth for longer than a few days. I go where I'm needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, I got that. That's not what I asked.
I do not trust you to pronounce their names, but parts of the earth spoke with me. Felt threatened in their homes. Around
Right.
in these walls. These walls that were going to be cut down.
Then,
I'd
Jasmine,
like-
is if I understand correctly, that is what you want to protect.
They are small, they are young, and in need of protection.
Yes. And asking the community that lives above them for help to protect them was not an option because
Because they do not speak the common language. They are, in essence, stone.
But you do. And yet deciding to nearly kill them would be a better option? The people who live here?
I know what is best for these young ones. I know what
Mm.
their large would want.
I'd just like to say, as immovable as you think you are, the civilization right above you is probably more planted than you are. An entire town descending upon this place will not work in your favor.
Also, the fact that you have brought up the idea to the spirits that live here that harming the people who live above this place, it was a good idea. I'm not sure they would be very appreciative. Talking is still the better option.
They do not actively harm. Someone is stupid enough to try the same method 45 times, and that is entirely on their head.
But you
What
could
else was I
choose to
supposed to do?
wait
For
Mhm.
for them to make it out safe. You could always choose.
I cannot. I'm not there.
Where are you then?
Here.
If not here, unmovable.
I don't understand your question.
You said you're not there at the collapse, which is about 10 meters that way.
You're awfully flippant for someone in someone else's home asking for negotiations.
I'm trying to negotiate. All we've got was death threats.
I did not threaten you with death.
Bodily harm.
I simply said we would not budge. You're
What
free.
I'm saying, you really don't have much of an option here. These gnomes are going to do what they're going to do. We're here to try to find a solution that works for both of us. And if we fail, force will be coming toward this place.
And then I shall die defending it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what we want
Much
to
rather,
avoid.
we would much rather want you to live for these small ones, wherever you are in the ground, to survive and grow and
I do not
change and be
care what
proud.
you want me to do. I know the earth far better than you. I know what is best.
We didn't say Earth, we said you. And the spirits.
And it's not about knowing, it's about what I, in my being, feel I would want to happen is that you're all safe and secure and able to grow without being mined into, without losing your homes. Much the same as anyone above ground. To me, you are no different except for how you look.
That is not going to happen. You give the outsiders a finger, they take your whole arm. They will not simply abide by not mining any deeper. They always want more metal, more flowers, more magic. They will not stop simply for a couple of children living inside these walls. They do not understand any of it, and they never will. That's
Then why don't you
talking was
tell
never
them?
an option.
Then you should tell them. If you understand so much, why are you so secretive with all your knowledge?
Because they would not listen. They did not.
Then we will make them listen. Don't scoff at me.
You change conversation tactics like leaves in the wind.
You don't, and that's the problem.
You take a stand for the one sentence, and then the wind changes, and you take a stand for the other the next.
How little you understand of wind then, because that is what the wind does. The wind blows, the water streams, the earth resides.
You are
What
not
can
the
still
wind.
move? Neither are you. I know a whole damn more about the sea and the wind than you. So assume that I am not your enemy. None of us are.
Then let us leave on neutral ground, and you leave.
If we leave, the gnomes are coming back. And they're not going to be amicable.
I do not care.
Yes, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
I take a stand for what I believe in.
Taking a stand is different than actually defending it in this case. You're currently harming other people.
As they
People have children. With unknowingly harmed you before, and you knowingly harmed them. There's a difference there.
Unknowingly. As if they did not know what resided in these walls.
They suspected.
They knew.
Suspected.
What they
saw,
told us.
they interacted, they knew. If they told you any different, then they are liars. And they deserve whatever harm comes their way.
Right. Jasmine's going to turn around and done. This is entirely pointless. This guy is not responding. Like Stone.
He did say he wasn't gonna.
Oh yeah, I know that. But, considering how Stone changes when water hits it, I expect it to budge somehow, but nothing is happening.
That's exactly what he said he wouldn't do.
I know that. But if he's going by natural courses, then he should, and he didn't. And that's...
He might have other motivations.
I'm going
we've asked!
Yeah.
talk to Mira with my telepathy. And I'm going to say, we have two options here. We can leave and let the gnomes deal with this, which will end in plenty of people dying. Or we can take care of it ourselves.
Have you searched his surface thoughts at all?
His?
Charm, yeah.
Is he within 30 feet? Nope. No.
Been a matter of taking a step forward. No? Okay.
Well, I actually was gonna do something still. I'm only gonna take 2 steps forward. With my hands just like clear, except like the torches bit in the back. I find, without meaning disrespect, but probably inflicting it, this to be an abrasive conversation. I do not understand. I have not the full knowledge. I do not. And what you say may be true, what they say may be true, and I cannot know. And I will believe you, and that is what you perceive as the truth. All I know is that I will do my best to find a way to connect whatever this is, because otherwise I know if I leave it alone that I will not have done my best.
Is this some kind
Scoff
of
at me all you want.
personal crusade for you to help every single thing across your way, whether they want it or not?
Well, sometimes people want things but need other things. And if...
Child, you do not get to presume what is good for others.
And you should let people finish.
No.
You just did the exact same thing. You presume for these children what is good for them.
I do not.
As I
You
said,
just said so.
Okay,
Sorry.
God's willing. What I want for you and what you need is the same thing.
all this
I know,
prattling on. I will ask you once more to leave, and if you do not, then I will attack. Am I clear?
Do your
I want
surface
to do a
thoughts,
thing.
Yeah, so what are these surface thoughts saying?
You now moved into.
Double team, what up?
Oh,
Sorry.
they are. He's most definitely intimidated by all these people coming in more than he's letting on. He is also extremely annoyed in the spouting of words that Mira is currently doing. Only half of it seems to be getting in. He's not listening to what she's saying because, in his opinion, she's already said far too much to say anything sensical. And there is a glimmer of deep self-interest in the matter.
Okay.
Shines through all of his surface thoughts because that's currently what he's doing, defending his own self-interest. That's the only thing of note, really. The rest is quite obvious.
I'm going to say, look, you have two options here. Death or no death. Because this is going to keep happening.
Death it is, then. And he starts casting a spell.
All right.
Okay, before,
And that's where we'll end
okay,
tonight.
never mind.
Yeah, we can't go into another combat that lasts forever, guys. We can't.
No, we
I
can't.
won't. What did you want to do, Grawl? If it's split second thing, then
Well,
you do it.
combat's already started. I mean, it's too late now.
Well, what were you gonna do?
I mean, I was just gonna walk over there and try to pick him up and set him down a couple feet away from where he was standing.
Oh, he
Yeah.
would have cast the spell anyway.
He's a guy. He's not made of stone. He's a guy.
Oh. It's not an earth elemental?
No,
She
No,
said
that's
you-
the problem.
he's a guy.
Huh.
He's probably a stone druid or something like that. We should have had a druid of our own.
I mean, we're gonna only have you to blame for this at this moment.
He was going to die anyway. Because the gnomes were going to come down. And...
No, I mean the not having a druid part.
Ah, true.
Anyway, anything last you want to say, by the way, Lorai, before we go off on a tangent?
Thanks everyone for watching. It's quite tense encounter once again. But, you know, sometimes people don't want to be reasoned with, especially if you roll a natural one on persuasion in the mid-game.
Just all the fucking, like every time though, like I spec into it so badly. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I know. It could have slightly gone differently, but this guy is also really an unreasonable guy.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Should have been a halfling.
Thank you for watching, and the matter will certainly get resolved in some form.
Yay.
Next session. In 2 weeks for us, in 1 week probably for you. So we're signing off on a nice little cliffhanger here. And wish you all a good night, good day, wherever you are.